Let's try that. There we go. All right, we're live. I'm going to have to change this title.
Whoops, that's me.
To Synth Geekery 310 second try.
There you go.
Okay, give everybody the link.
History.
We should be streaming again, and it shouldn't be choppy. And this time I'm just going to stream via YouTube only. I don't know what the hell was going on before.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh, that's not the right link there.
How do I refresh F5? That's funny.
Come on.
Come on, you little bugger.
I'm still getting the
Oh,
short stream. Where's the link?
I've just posted it in the old chat, but I can give it to you via this thing.
In the local chat here.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, now I need to get chatbot to restart. Sorry guys, you should be getting a smoother stream now. I'm actually streaming out of my ATEM, so instead of doing Streamlabs. So we're not streaming on Twitch and all the other platforms, we're just streaming on YouTube at the moment. Just give me a sec. I don't like it how I have to, like one of the things I love about the ATEM is I can actually pause the stream and then stream it from something else if the ATEM goes down or something like that. But with Streamlabs, I can't do that, which is actually really, really annoying. So anyway, let everybody know what the stream links are. If you've got, in fact, what I might do is I'll just provide everybody a new link. Facebook's a good place to do it. Facebook, and I'll go to Pro Synth Network. That's a good place. Most people hang out there. New stream link.
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay.
StreamYard's like that too. If you have any kind of interruption, it just
very
drops the stream and then you got to restart everything all over again. So
yeah, it's like post new links and
even if you like lose your video and audio and the app freaks out, the web-based app freaks out, it's just like you can't restart it. It just gets stuck.
Yeah, it just completely shut itself. Yeah, StreamYard sucks like that too because it's done in the cloud. So yeah. Okay, so we've put new links up for everyone. I do apologise for that. Nothing to do with me. My world's fine. All right, Ian.
look fine to us.
Ian, you are still noisy. Yeah, sorry, mate. You're going to have to do something about that. It's a digital noise.
It could be your
no,
audio
that's
interface
not your
or
mic.
something.
You're not using the right mic.
I just, I've been trying to
Yeah, you're not
force it
it's
to
picking it up.
Scala. And
After I did that beautiful intro and everything, eh?
Oh, you should have known it was gonna go horribly wrong. Leave it for 5 minutes. What happens?
It's not me leaving it. It's the StreamYard. No, Streamlabs.
I'm referring to jinxing things.
Oh,
You're
okay.
superstitious.
Right. Let's get the show
Hey,
back.
Ian, do you have like a
on the
USB
track.
headset? That's why I use this one, so I have all the variables removed.
no, I don't. But for some reason, it's the camera.
You're going to have to change the audio input, mate.
Yeah, I've done it 4 times now, and it keeps referring back. I don't know why. I'll keep using it until I get it to it. What?
No, it's just that are you running this in Chrome?
I wasn't, but I am now. I wasn't, but I am now.
Because 2 weeks ago I had the issue of it not.
Chrome sucks at the moment.
Chrome's have an issue.
It didn't give me access to my old microphone.
Don't get me started
until
on
I went
Chrome.
back in to the sharing. settings.
But even the Chromium-based stuff is
Give it
issue,
permission.
like
Sort of lost
Edge
all
and
those
things like that.
permissions.
I'm
So
currently
it's
using
reverted.
Brave. I ditched Chrome about a week ago because it was the Brave browser.
I've not heard of this. Who's
Yeah.
that? Who's that?
Yeah,
invented
Brave's
by?
alright. I was
Brave's
using
pretty
Opera and Firefox for a while, and they were fine. But
I've got Firefox. I can move on.
All right, I'm going to have to mute you in and then
Right. Yeah, don't worry.
restart
I'll
yourself.
probably think- Okay.
All right. Sorry, guys. It's actually Ian's making all that noise. I do apologise. We're trying to tech support a few things at the same time, and they both completely independently not working. Okay. So anyway, let's get back up and running again. So, what do we got? We've got Synth Geekery episode 310. I will make sure that I re-edit this particular live stream. Tell all your friends that we've moved. I'll give you guys a link actually. Just in chat, you guys can copy this link. Anyone that's disappeared, there you go. There's the link. Okay. And you guys can flick that across. I've chucked it up on Pro Synth Network and on my Synth Geekery YouTube, Facebook, channels. But share it amongst your friends. Which means all the other links that we had posted are not going to work. Which kind of sucks because that means my numbers will be low and people are going to be upset and they're going to send me nasty messages and but what can I do? Anyway, so where did we get to? We were talking about Synth Geekery episode 310. Hello, welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed a little hiatus from the show last week. I went camping with my son and a whole bunch of dads. We actually do this. Usually we only do it once a year, but this year we decided to do it twice because we had such a good time earlier in the year, and the whole purpose of it is so that your son can spend some time with the dad, and it's not a sexist thing or anything like that. It's just more like in my place where I live, and where Chris lives as well. The dads can be away. A lot of the industry here is mining. And as a result of that, the dads can be away. They can be away for months at a time, and so they don't get to see their kids as much, and it gives them a good opportunity to spend some more focused time with their kids. My son goes to an all boys school, which is why it's sons and dads, not kids and dads. And also my daughter came anyway later on, so that put a spanner in the work. Ian, let's. I can hear you. I can hear me. Try again.
yeah,
I can't hear you. Keep trying. It's definitely not our end, buddy.
Them subtitles.
You can hear me though, right? Okay. So it's definitely something your end. You're just going to have to play with those little settings in that little cog thing and see how you go. It's weird. It's like Gremlin Day. Anyway, so that was what I was doing, and as a result, I thought I got to give you guys something to chew on for Saturday, and so I put the full Gates album plus a bunch of bonus tracks, and I did that as a premiere, and I did it as a mix, so you guys got a little special, video backed mix of all the tracks. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I've got a couple of nice messages from people, so hopefully everyone else liked it. That those people who messaged me obviously did. So yeah, that's the Gates album. It's still up on the YouTube channel. So if you did miss out on seeing that, it's up there. You guys can play that in your car. You don't have to watch it.
Did you get a claim from your own music?
No, because Ian's been a good boy.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You
Hooray!
fixed it. Hooray!
I don't know what I did, but I didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's
that's exactly what it
Bart
was like
Simpson.
for me too.
Eat my
2
shorts.
weeks
So
ago.
I'm not using Chrome. I'm using Firefox, and it automatically found the right microphone. But anyway, we're here. Sorry. So no
think
copyright
Chrome's
claims
gone.
on Ranzee's album. I think so too.
Chrome has gone to the shitser. Sorry, Google, but you guys need to sort your stuff out. For a company that makes billions and billions of dollars, the last update that you guys rolled out is absolute shite. And this, okay, so disclaimer here, I'm talking about Chrome running on Windows 10. Yes, I know I don't have Windows 11. Suck it. I'm not going to go and put a new motherboard in my PC just so I can have Windows 11. So bad luck for you, Microsoft. You can get stuffed. And if I do have to, jail my Windows 10 installation, I will literally take an image of it and put it in a VM and run Linux as my main desktop, because I'm not going to... Well, it's not just
Chrome. Their development of YouTube's app is pretty crappy too. So as a mobile streamer, the YouTube app on iOS is pretty shitty.
Yeah. Anyway, so
you can't even have camera settings. So.
If you guys are having trouble with Chrome, give us a thumbs up in chat. Let us know if you're having trouble with Chrome. I went across to Brave. This is for Windows users. I went across to Brave, and on my Mac, I still use Chrome. It doesn't have a problem on there. I don't know why. It may be an Intel-based thing, because my Mac's an ARM processor. So maybe it's an weird Intel thing. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, mine's an M1. So that's obviously where I'm having some issues. But anyway, thank God for Firefox.
It's good to have multiple browsers anyway.
Guys, there's what is there? 30 people in the show right now, and there's 5 likes. So do better.
6 now. I've just done
Give us a like. Give us a like. Come on, do better. Right. So what else can we do? We are going to do. Obviously, we're going to get stuck into the regular segments, but I thought we'll talk about how's your week been and all that sort of stuff in a sec. We'll get onto that, because it's actually kind of how's your 2 weeks been. And I've been talking to some of these guys here, especially Chris. So we'll I don't know what you're going to share about your week, Chris, but or your 2 weeks.
And a bridge version. Put it that way.
What I want to do though, before we go to Chris, I'm actually going to start with him. I'm going to say this: if you guys see, there's things I like about what the US are doing at the moment, and that's small, and it's a small list. And there's a really, really big list of things that I absolutely can't stand that they're doing over there, and it just keeps growing, right? And the latest one is starting to really, really screw up the modular industry in the world. And a lot of these guys, we're going to talk to Chris in a minute, but a lot of these guys are actually being crippled now because they can't, they can post things, but they can't post things without either getting slumped with tariffs, which are ridiculous, or they can't post things because their country, aka Australia, is refusing to send mail to the US until they find a better solution. And on top of that, you have to pay tariffs as well. Yeah. So how's your week been is going to be a little bit of a downer and a rant, but at the same time we're going to finish with an upper as well. So I'm going to go straight to Chris. Chris, how's your week been, mate?
Yes, the last 2 weeks been a bit rough for me. Apart from the fact that I've been a bit ill, I had a sinus infection for about a week, and it gave me terrible headaches. Something I haven't had since I was about 30, but I had a lot of problems in my 30s and early 40s. That took a long time to get the right medication, and unfortunately something happened last week or the week before, that was worse than normal because I had a horrible headache. In the middle of all of that, on the shop, my Etsy store. Now, I have a particular postal carrier that I use for US parcels, and they sent things saying to me, I'm sorry, we're not going to send to the US anymore. We're suspending all postage to the US as we can't we don't have a solution for paying the 10% duty. So sorry. So I went, oh crap, okay. Luckily I've got a backup. I have a wonderful company, ex-government but now private-owned Australia Post, which is like our British Post. A version of our British Post over here. And they were still open for business. But they had some troubling wording in their updates for USA Mail. They said, we're working on something. It's going to be ready soon. In the meantime, we're open for business. Should be cool. So I'm going, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Research. So I'm trying to find out what's going on with respect to duty in the US. And there's this, well, I can tell you a bit more later, the details on what Mr. Trump actually wrote in his executive order, which is causing some of the consternation. But the main thing is that we've got a company in Australia, or British, UK, companies in America who are going, yeah, pay us. Don't you know how to pay us in US dollars? And, oh, you guys don't have a system that, oh, that's going to suck for you guys. I guess your parcel's all going to get refused. Oh, crap. So a couple of days after I'd gone to the trouble of setting up my Australia Post mailing out, oh, by the way, I had to pause US postage immediately, and I had to go through all of my listings and change them to have a different postage thing that excluded the United States, which wasn't fun. I thought this was going to be a temporary thing, worked it out, got Australia Post going, the charges were still okay. Phew. Then 2 days later, Australia Post said, oh, I'm sorry, we're stopping all our mailing to the US as well.
Oh, man.
And that's, yeah. Then it started to get really difficult because now we're starting to look for alternative postage. And believe me, back in the days when I started my Etsy store, I had a good look at this. But, you know, times have changed. Maybe the situation is a little bit different. Anyway, so we all know our, you know, FedEx and our USPS and DHL and all those lovely people who we use quite a lot. You know, we get a lot of stuff into Australia for quite reasonable postage. So I go into the website and go, oh, yeah, this didn't go well for me last time. Anyway, go through all the procedures, signed up for the business, look at all of the caveats and try to find all the avenues of getting a price out of the system. Yes, $150 to send a $30 item.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it less than $150 for sending anything with DHL and FedEx. Now, this is interesting. I did a bit more research afterwards, and it seems that they still don't have a very good customer-facing pricing structure. So they're still very much of the attitude, well, you know, when you send out your 40 items a day, you put them in a box, and then the postage is divided amongst those 40 items. Don't you send 40 items a day? Hello, this is e-commerce. We don't work like this. It doesn't work that way. So amazingly, they haven't actually progressed at all. So I know these other posts, you know, Australia Post, and for example, the company I was using was called Sendle. They look pretty bad, but I think the when you go looking at the alternatives, you realise that there's a reason why we've been using other postage providers other than DHL and FedEx in Australia, which is really sad. Anyway, so I'm really stuck without a solution at the moment. So unfortunately, I've had to shut down all US postage on my Etsy store, which is pretty depressing because I was about to launch products. And then naturally that is going to be postponed. Well, I try and work out what I'm going to do and what the timeline's possibly going to be. There is some hope. Australia Post have not given us a timeline on when they're going to come up with a solution, but when they do, it'll be a solution much like everyone else's, which is a system called duty paid post, which is where the seller, the merchant, we pay for the duty processing and the actual tariff itself on our end of the store, and we have to work out how we're going to charge the customer, whether we're going to increase the postage or whether we're going to increase the price of our items. Pretty complicated when you send all over the world like I do. I can't exactly price everything for the United States and say, sorry guys in the UK, you have to pay more because they do. No, I don't like that idea at all. I don't think it's fair on the customers. So yeah, so this is the situation we're in at the moment. The reason why it got really complicated there and quite stressful was because there was a lot of horror stories about people saying, no, if it to them, all the customers will refuse and they'll destroy your packages, or all the customers will refuse and you'll have to pay a penalty fee for sending it back to you, or the last one was it'll get stuck in there for 4 weeks because it's going to get put into the naughty pile. And then the worst one of all, this is the worst one. Oh no, the executive order says if they can't be bothered or they're too busy, they'll just charge you $80 per parcel. $80 per parcel.
Wow.
So if you sell a $15 item, you just had $80 worth of duty put on it, which is, A, we can't do this to our customers, and B, we can't afford to take on that risk ourselves. So, yeah, this is why everyone's kind of tearing their hair out in the e-commerce world at the moment, and particularly in the modular world, e-commerce world. Boutique modular sellers are being hit by this. I've talked to a few people here in Australia who I've seen on social media who are complaining about the same issue. Some people in the UK, quite a lot of people in the UK I've seen shut down their stores. People in Taiwan. I'm not too sure about the rest. I'm a little concerned about people who are still claiming they're shipping to the US. I'm a little bit skeptical that there may be some kind of
from the UK
message and cancelled sales.
From the UK, it's still possible, but it's expensive.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the situation we're in now, which is it is extremely expensive. So if you're selling something pricey like Melbourne Instruments or something are selling there, then, like it's something that's a couple of grand, $150, $200 is postage isn't outrageous, especially if you get it quickly. But in my situation, it's just not practical.
No, it's not, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. I mean, it's not great for us, but we'll get to me in a bit.
So people are hurting. Americans who like their modules are probably going to hurt, and the sellers that are trying to be able to keep on giving you innovative modular synthesizers are going to hurt a little bit. How much it's going to hurt is really going to depend on how long this takes to get resolved. I've got my fingers crossed. There are some companies that are giving us better timelines than Australia Post are giving us no timelines. But I've signed up with them. Expression of interest. I would like to be part of a beta if it's going to go off. That's kind of the sad part of the evening, if you want to think of it that way. But that's not all that's happened in my week, fortunately. As you can see, I'm quite happy to be here. I'm glad to have something else to think about for a while.
Absolutely, mate.
And that has kind of what I've been doing. Fortunately, my health has improved and I don't have the headaches, so I'm really grateful for that because that was a pain going through this. And it was just nuts. Secret project's still going. I'm putting my head into writing software because there's not much else I can do otherwise, and trying to get to Ranzee's music. I've got a bit done Ranzee's remix this week, so that's good. Sometimes it's hard to kind of be inspired though. Not quite have the same energy as I normally do, but there's a lot of housekeeping to do, and quite often what I find is I don't feel like doing something, and 10 minutes into a DAW project and I've forgotten all about not being inspired, and I find that I've just spent half an hour or 2 hours enjoying myself. So that's what I always creative people would know this particular rule, which is if you want to progress in a particular creative skill, force yourself to do something for say I'm just going to do 10 minutes on this, and you'll find before long 2 hours are gone and you've gone, oh, that was really worthwhile. It's funny how the brain works, but once your head gets into a certain mode, it's amazing what other troubles it can push out of your mind. So I had no trouble working on Ranzee's remix because it's good fun. I've also been playing with a new module up here, which I'll just, if I can work out how to bring it up. Is it up? Is it up? No. Is it up? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Let's turn on a light. There you go. I've been playing with this thing called the Smoosher. It's an after later audio product. It's a compressor. It's quite a cute little compressor. I've been just coming to term, going kind of experimenting with it. It took a little while to get the hang of it, but now I've got the hang of it. I quite like it. It's I've got this one, and there's another one over here, which is its smaller brother, which is a thing called the Smoosher. And it doesn't have all the parameters, but it does some really good. It's really quite good. It's got an auto compressor in it. You still have the threshold and all that kind of good stuff. And it's only 4 HP. Really good as a pumper. I quite like using it as a sidechain compression. But the big boy up there is really, really good fun as well, and you get more control, and it's got some cute features and some nice CV control. And you can experiment with different things. I quite like the sound of it, so is it running? So it's doing compression stuff anyway in that patch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite good fun. So yeah, mixed week, but we we move on. We move
survive.
on, and yes, what do you call it? Don't let the system get you down. Don't let the system get you down. And a certain orange person.
Yeah, and
He's
unfortunately, like Chris can't sell his gear through a distributor either, because the tariffs will still apply.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the distributors that he would probably use, like, mate, I'll give an example, like Thonk, for example. They have exactly the same problem as he does. So it makes no point if he goes through them. They're still going to hit the barrier of insane postage to the US. So really, I mean, other than him sending stuff to someone like, say, Perfect Circuit and then dealing through them direct in the US, the only way he's going to be able to do that is if he makes 1,000 modules and puts them in a box and just ships one over, and then sells it to them on consignment. And generally speaking, that's very risky, a risky business move. So
you can't afford that
for yourself, the merchant, and for Perfect Circuit. I mean, and I wouldn't think Perfect Circuit would be rushing out to make deals with unknown people at this point in time, at any time. I mean, I think they'd respectfully say, look, I'm sorry, we can't, we have to do some vetting processes and write up contracts.
They're already pretty saturated, too. They have a lot of overhead, a lot of gear.
Exactly.
So.
And who would blame them for going, okay, we can either use one of the 50 modular, the premier modular boutique companies in America, or we could look overseas and deal with all this import stuff. And this is looking quite attractive over here. I think I don't blame them. But this is a lesson for me as well. I think it's made me resolve to put in a bit more of an effort to expand my Europe and UK market, and particularly my Australian market. I can probably do a lot better work on marketing in Australia. So if I have time on my hands because I'm not selling modules, that's what I should be doing. I should be talking to people and getting known.
I was listening to an interesting professor at a university here in Australia on the radio talking about this whole economic conundrum that Trump has caused, and basically his summary I thought was actually quite poetic. He said basically what will end up happening if it keeps going down this trajectory is that the people of the US will live a very insular lifestyle, and the rest of the world will eventually just go, we're just not dealing with that country anymore.
Sadly, that's what those guys want.
That's what they want, but I don't think that they want it to become like a North Korea type situation. That's what they don't want. So
they have no vision. They don't see the future. They're thinking of now.
No, they're very short.
And they're thinking about their pockets, of making money for their pockets.
It was supposed to be a short-term money grab. I feel that's what it's supposed to be, and as a result, what it'll end up being is it'll be a devastating thing for people that want to do business in the US, because the rest of the world will just go, this is kind of stinging us, guys. This is we just don't really want to do. There's another country on the other side that they make a shitload of stuff. They're cheap. You guys don't like them, but they're saying let's do business. Bye.
Yeah, you can see us people in that certain rather large country rubbing their hands together, going, "Opportunity."
Let's just keep let these guys keep tripping over. Hey, you tripped over again? This is great.
I mean, obviously, everybody warned about this. Everyone knew this was the problem. Is somebody has to pay if you're going to do tariffs. Obviously, Chris's side has to pay. The customer here has to pay. Everyone has to pay. It magically doesn't just go away. And they keep lying and lying and lying about it. And this is a reality of the situation. This is a real story of a real vendor and a manufacturer having trouble, and people here having trouble buying your stuff. It's just, it's becoming an old story, and it's really sad because everyone knew this is telegraphed by, Business 101. This is like brain dead, easy stuff. And they just continue to lie about it. And his fans go, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Oh wait, we have to pay more?" It's like, yeah, idiots. Somebody has to pay.
Make America great
it's
again.
Interesting, actually, the language coming out of the, for example, Etsy Australia, they are really Etsy US, so their language is interesting to say the least. Talking about exploring alternative markets and adjusting your pricing structures to suit the customer better. Insert the word US in front of every word. Customer is really what they're saying. They're basically, because imagine how much they're going to lose. Etsy.
Oh yeah.
Not as much as they're not going to lose as much as if something like this had hit.
Who just bought
US
Etsy?
market,
Someone just bought Etsy, didn't they? Who was the company that just bought Etsy? Literally just been bought out by someone. Oh, personally, I don't care. Personally,
No.
Because if the small man gets affected by business a lot harder than big multinational, multi-international companies, then I don't really care. What I care about is guys like Chris who are being absolutely hammered by this. And I mean, if you look at, I read some posts over on Mod Wiggler during the week, and there's guys who are saying 70% of my sales go to the US, 80% of my sales go to the US, 90% of my sales go to the US. Now what do I do? Because if I don't have 90% of my sales anymore, I can't function as a business anymore. So you will literally see modular companies go down the drain, and small synthesizer manufacturers as well will do the same.
Get this is proposed by a moron who went to the Wharton School of Business. It proudly talks about all the time, and this is a huge business mistake, right? And no matter where you went to school, what you studied, if you went to any business school at all and you can think this is a good idea, it's clearly not. So that just shows where his brain is, and like Mexico's paying for the border wall. That was never going to happen.
Yeah,
it's just
he
so
was
stupid.
never good at business, though, was he?
That's the thing. It's so funny.
He talked a good talk.
Well, let's call this collateral, though.
Let's be honest.
This is collateral. The small guys, they're not so important. We want, the big stuff. We want to sell lots.
He didn't start from scratch. He got a hand-me-down from his dad.
Daddy. Yeah, Daddy got him going.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have any respect for that. I don't.
No.
People that have hand-me-downs, going around as if they, they're amazing and they're self-made and all this sort of shit. Bullshit you are. Bullshit you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, enough rant about the orange man. May he become...
where was the rant? We didn't have Ranzee's rant graphic. Where is that?
Well, it's Chris. It's really. I don't want to. I didn't.
I know.
Want
We're all
Chris's
ranting.
rant.
I didn't really want to.
Well
start.
done, Chris.
Good on you, Chris. All right, now
I nearly made a meme. I nearly did.
let's go across to let's go across to Andy, because this. Sorry, there's Andy. This affects you in a way. But how's your 2 weeks been, buddy?
Pretty uneventful, just usual working. No time to do hardware jams. I do have to try and get something for the Inky Fest coming up through Hardware Jams. It's a longer set. They've done a few of these Hardware Jam Fest things over the years, and this one, it's basically dedicated to Inky, Lisa Bainin, rest in peace, and So that's coming up, I think, in a couple weeks. So I got to bust my ass because I try to save the modular stuff for the fests, longer form stuff, which also means it takes longer to make it because modular just. I don't have everything all plumbed in like Ranzee does. I have stuff all over different cases, and so first I have to set it all up, decide what I want to use, and then start patching. It takes forever. It's fun, but it really takes forever. So I haven't done any modular for a while either because of that. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Getting had the time. I don't have a lot of time though because, as I told before, going to China shortly. I'm getting a eSIM, so I'll be live streaming from China if that all works out correctly. So look for those.
Cool. Nice.
On my channel.
Cool.
And yeah, and I'll be a good boy. I won't go over there. I won't talk about Tibet, and I won't say anything bad because I don't want to be locked up. I mean, if I go on and on about Trump,
don't mention the 3 Ts.
Well, if I go on about Trump and tariffs, they may actually give me a prize or something.
No, Andy, don't mention the 3 Ts. You know what the 3 Ts are?
I don't know.
Tibet, Taiwan, and Trump.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
That covers.
Well, if you mention Trump in a bad light, they may like it, but yeah, it's pretty crazy this whole thing. But anyway, so that should be fun in a week and a half, whatever it's going to be. I forgot. But other than that, not much to speak about. I do want to work on some more modular stuff, and if I do an Inky Fest thing, I can take that setup and do another EMOM up in San Francisco with that setup because I always do EMOMs with modular. So. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, happy to be here otherwise. So.
Good man. Heading over to Ian. Ian, how's your week?
My fortnight's been okay, actually. I mean, I did miss last week, but actually I spent all of last Saturday rewiring the studio. So all of this stuff has been rewired. I've bought a Mio XL, which isn't wired in yet, but I'm going to wire all that for MIDI. Nice. That's the work for next week, and I'm also going to try and wire all of this stuff permanently in, and then move stuff around a bit more. So been doing that. Just back to Chris's thing. Less of a problem for me because I don't send a lot to America, but so say we sent a CD to America. Normally it would have cost before the tariffs bollocks. It would have cost probably about $5. The cheapest I can find now is £16, and that's Royal Mail. If I use a shipper, it's £40 to send one CD, which is basically like letterpost, So that shows you the problem. When you escalate that bigger parcels, more weight, it just becomes untenable, really. But luckily for me, we don't send lots to America anymore. Those days have gone, really. But yeah, anyway, that's what else have we been doing? Got a new Sinners review website up. It's not about music; it's about all the reviews that we did at Edinburgh and the podcast and stuff like that. So that's sinnersreview.co.uk.
Yay!
Did that. Well, the minute I came back from Edinburgh actually, and I've been doing a bit with the Launch Key Mark III and trying to get to talk to other stuff, which it doesn't do easily. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't easily talk to.
Really, I like that thing a lot. I have one of those.
Yeah, I mean, it works fine with an iPad, but if I want it to talk to the seat track, I have to bloody mess around with it, and which I haven't got around.
I think that's the seat track's fault. Seat track is funky.
Yeah, but so is OPZ. OPZ doesn't work either. But anyway, I'll get to that.
Should be class
but like I said, it should be, but it doesn't seem to be. I might be doing something wrong, but anyway. But yeah, no, that's it really.
Awesome.
I joined the Film Club. I've joined the film club, the local film club. So I'll be going to see foreign films once a month down the road, which sounded like a good idea at the time.
We'll have to put subtitles underneath you from now on.
You will, definitely. I like a good subtitle film.
Just to represent.
I can't be doing with these films where there we go. I have subtitles. That'll do me. Yeah, but no, I'm glad to be back. I did miss last week, but I had your album on in the background, Rans, and I just was doing stuff, wiring all this stuff up, which was good actually. and moving
Nice.
stuff around.
Nice.
You know.
Appreciate that. Awesome. Great stuff. We're back to us. Hi. Now, did I pin? I didn't pin the. I don't think it really matters because people are busy. But I'll pin the Zoom thing in the chat because just in case. So anyone wants to join us on Zoom, we do have the link there, and I'll pin it in the chat because we're only just doing YouTube now. So stuff the rest of the platforms, they can get the buggery. You can blame Streamlabs for that. Anyway, we are going to do the synth quiz now. Let me just get my little stinger ready and press this button. Nothing's changed this end. We've got the streaming software has been running the whole time, and I've been sitting here in this chair. The only thing that's changed is the YouTube channel address. Anyway, guys, let's do clues, shall we? First clue for this week is there's no spelling mistake here. There's two words, sus and. I like that one.
I was going to say that was a sus post there, so as the kids like to say.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like it. Like it. Let's go with that one. I say this every week. I can be proven wrong, but gosh, you should get this one. Surely you will get this one. And don't cheat. Don't go on and ask Jeeves and all that sort of stuff. Try and use your grey matter in here somewhere.
Ask Jeeves. Is that still a thing?
I'm just saying it's fun. Google it. I just don't like saying Google it. I refuse to use Google it as a term because it's so commercial. It is so commercial.
Well, it's so prevalent. I mean, like Kleenex, right? People say, I'm not use a tissue, I use a Kleenex. Or like when I drive rideshare, I'm driving somebody on Lyft, and they say, I'm taking an Uber. I'm like, it's actually
I know,
Lyft,
I've noticed that's crept into movies now. I was watching a movie the other day, and someone said, I better get an Uber. And I'm like, what's wrong with the taxi?
It's Kleenex.
What's wrong with the taxi? Yeah. What's wrong with the tissue?
It's a Hoover.
What's wrong with an internet search?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, me being a nonconformist, if you guys don't know, this is why I'm not successful in this world, because I don't brown nose. I don't brown nose enough. Anyway.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. That's it. Let's do some funny stuff and see what strange things happen on the memes. When you buy your first synthesizer, this is the face you make. When you buy your 237th synthesizer, this is the face you make. Oh dear. The black square on the left is Daren. If anyone wants to be upset by that, then join us on Zoom and I'll pop you in there and you can join us with our memes. Right. When you buy your 238th synthesizer, this has got nothing to do with it. Star Trek MFS driving a spaceship with a drum machine. Isn't that clever?
Chance then.
All they did was change the caps on the sliders.
Yeah.
And pretty much away we go.
They put some kind of white translucent thingies on, between each slider, which makes it look a bit more futuristic.
Yeah.
Some of the Star Treks are pretty cheap, so I'm not surprised. So
I did have a Star Trek sound effect somewhere, but it's not set up on my Stream Deck, so I can't fire it at will. Anyway,
Photon torpedoes.
Yeah. Didn't think ahead. Anyway, I thought that was
full
clever.
spread.
The next one is, I don't know what these knobs do, but I'm turning them. Yes. I say.
You can turn them if you want to.
I'm knobbing. There's a new term.
Yes,
Right now, I'm knobbing. And this is the face you make when you're knobbing.
Good knobbing, yes. Show us your knobbing face. Come on.
Oh.
hey, Ranzee, just put Chris in the black spot unless it's too hard to wrangle it.
Put Chris in the black. Yeah, I could do. Where's the button gone? This one? Who's there? Daren is there. Chris is. Hooray!
Hey.
There you go.
It won't stay that way, but anyway.
I don't have a disembodied voice floating around the thing. So.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right. I'm going to have to do that with every segment now.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. We'll work it out. Sorry, Chris. Right, next. This one. I have big plans for the shelf. Please, no more Eurorack. Big fans. I love that. That is so good. Whoever came up with that one, massive big thumbs up from Ranzee. Should do like a thumbs up thing.
He has big plans, but he's not broke yet from all the eurorack. So
Doesn't
yeah. Oh, my poll's gone to buggery. That sucks. I'll have to type it in a sec. I'll have to retype it. Okay, let's keep going. Next is this one, and I've got a sound effect. Ready?
Yep.
What's going on?
I'm just waiting for a mate.
Is that why your car's all smashed up and you're up on the grass at the moment, or what?
Yeah. Just waiting for a mate. He's gone in there. Why?
This is a classic thing that happened on Australian TV. But obviously, this has now been synthesized.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for a Behringer version.
Yeah. With the accent.
This is real, by the way. This guy literally sat in his car. He's all smashed up in the front, and the cop comes up to him and goes, "What's going on?" I'm just waiting for a mate.
Just waiting for mates.
It's completely smashed off his head, this guy.
Jeez.
Oh,
It'll
it's so
buff out.
classic. Do you want to hear that again? Listen to this, right? Listen.
What's going on?
I'm just waiting for a mate.
Is that why your car's all smashed up and you're up on the grass at the moment, or what?
Yeah. Just waiting for a mate. He's gone in there. Why?
Oh, my God. Oh, dear. Okay.
I used to love cops. I watch cops all the time. So that kind of stuff is on there.
All right, let's get the poll going. Hang on. Wait, I'm typing fast. You guys can just enjoy looking at the guy pretending that he's waiting for a mate. And waiting for a mate. And we are going to start the poll in the chat. Let's see if it works. Hooray! It works. Wow. Things are working now, guys. Please vote. Exclamation mark. Vote. One word, no spaces. Then a space. And then the number that corresponds to your favorite meme. 0 being the 237th synth. 1 being Star Trek. 2 being knobs. 3 being plans. Eurorack plans. Shelves. And 4, I'm just waiting for a mate.
No, they can't go past it.
It's a good one. I can't vote. It's my show, but I want to vote.
Yeah, I did it for you, mate.
I want to vote.
I got you back.
We should end
Just
the poll
wait.
right now.
Just voting for a mate.
Just vote for a mate. Oh my God. Oh, it's hilarious. All right, we'll give it one more second or so. Did Bert? We managed to get Bert. I don't know what happened to Bert. He's disappeared. ASIO head, that is. Let's end the poll. Ready, set. Oh, one more vote came in. Go. Guess what won?
I'm just waiting for a mate.
I'm just waiting for a mate.
Just waiting for a mate.
Just waiting for a mate.
Just voting for a mate.
Beautiful, poetic Australians, aren't they? Aren't they amazing? I feel better. I feel like the world is laughing at the same jokes now. I mean, what's going on? It's kind of weird doing that segment because it's really interesting that you think this is going to be the funniest meme. You're laughing your head off. You're rubbing the tears out of your eyes, and then you put it up on the show, and then no one votes for it. You're like, what?
It's
okay. What's wrong with me then?
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. All right. Speaking about what's wrong with me, let's do news. The short intro. Here we go. We are talking about this week. We're talking about new synths and new samplers. Well, this is a new synth right here. This is the Cubu synth. Arcarian? Arcarian? I'd say Arcarian or Carian.
Carrying,
yeah.
Carrying.
Or Arcaran. No, sorry, I shouldn't be. I shouldn't.
Arcarian.
I don't want to upset the guy that's gone to a lot of effort here. No, let's be sensible. Okay, QB-Synth Acarian is a fully featured analog synth voice in eurorack format, and it's completely digitally controlled with signal routing via what they call a DNA patching system. So it's an analog synth with a digital interface, which is something common that you see these days, and I love that little marriage between the analog and digital circuits. So what is it? It is inspired by the fictional DNA synthesis concept. The Acarian interprets a virtual genetic code to define routing schemes for CV and audio, and it allows complex evolving sound design with minimal patching. And you can see, actually, by looking at that, there's not a lot of patching going on down the bottom, and there's a lot of normalization happening with the knobs and controls, which is kind of a cool thing that a lot of people that don't use eurorack may enjoy about this. So it's designed for users who are seeking a unique blend of structure and chaos, combining traditional subtractive synths with digitally modulated signal flow. So you can actually play it through a MIDI source or via sequencer by hand. You can actually just play with it by hand, or you can control it with CV and all sorts of stuff as well. So there you go. Let's have a little listen. There's an intro here, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Hello and welcome to this video about our new module, the Acarian.
So just sorry, I forgot to mention this. I remember watching this earlier in the week thinking, yes, the audio isn't perfect. I think he's recorded it with his phone. I'm not sure. And he's played it through speakers. So look past that and try and just imagine if you plumbed it through a nice interface and you were listening to it properly. I think there are other videos anyway, but anyway, continue.
The Acarian is a fully featured analog synth voice module with digital control over patch routing. That means that the sounds in this synthesizer are randomly switched. Now I will go over its features and explain what they'll do. First of all,
no, we're not going to do that because I don't have 10 minutes to show. But you guys can check that out. There's a link to that article right now. You can go check it out if you want to, but don't stay here. Watch the show and check it out later. In fact, what I might do is I'll be a nice boy and I'll actually go like this. And hopefully it'll put the link in chat for you guys to bookmark and watch later. All right. So is there anything... Is that going to work? Does it work? Did it work? Did it work? Oh,
it just says news 1.
Wait for it.
There we go. It worked.
There
we go. Look at that. Now, let me get back to my notes. Couple of little things. Key features here. It's a 42 HP module. So this is a big sucker. It's going to take up a lot of your HP. It's
a synth.
It's relatively deep, 24 millimeters. But not too bad on the power draw, Chris. 200 milliamps on the plus 12 and about 110 on the minus. So add those two up and you're looking at around about 300 and something milliamps, which is a little beefy compared to some stuff. I'd say the digital stuff's doing most of that power draw though, to be fair. Yeah. LEDs, yeah. It does have patch storage. You can store 64 patches, 8 banks of 8. So you know, one of the things you can do with this is you can muck around with it and you go, "Ooh, that's kind of cool." And so you go, "Right, I want to store that." So you can do that. Although it'd be nice when you're taking up all this real estate, it'd be nice if there was a little OLED display or something to sort of indicate what patch number you're on. I kind of couldn't really work out how to work out what patch number I was on, unless it's through some sort of web interface or something that it connects up to. I'm not sure. So that was kind of a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
The modulation thing was kind of interesting. So obviously you can modulate it through LFOs like you normally would with a analog synth. But also it's got this random voltage source control thing, which is gate triggered. So you put a gate into this and it can sort of generate random voltages, which triggers the modulation sources. And then you can route those to whatever you want. There is a built-in delay, and you got two different types. You've got a tape style delay, and you heard it on the intro. And there's also a CMOS style delay, which is kind of nice too, that kind of crunchy delay. And you can actually control the time with the delay with CV, and also mix in the feedback as well. I think there's some inputs down. Where did I see it? Somewhere sort of in the middle left is kind of where all the gates in and modulation and stuff is there.
It's
Yep.
got that repeating feature as well.
The big knob on the right-hand corner is basically saying, I've got a light around me, please twiddle me. So he's done a good job with that.
Button next to it as well. Yeah.
That's called
the
the
randomized buttons right in the corner.
That's called the gene knob, that one, Gene, and it's basically morphing and routing. It's an expression, and it actually does have CV control as well. There's a little push button on the top right-hand corner which does stuff that relates to that as well. Yeah. There's actually 2 internal VCAs in this as well, which are interesting. So you can actually dedicate those to like a modulation intensity or a strength, if that makes sense. So that's kind of cool. I did say before it does have MIDI support. So you can via the TRS connection, you can get it into there. What was the other thing? Pricing. It's a little bit on the pricey side. I don't know if this is 100% correct, but the pricing I've got is $791 assembled, and you can buy this as a DIY kit. This would be a pretty tricky kit to put together, I would say. 42 HP.
It's a heavy build, yeah.
Yeah. I'd be aware of that, but you are saving a smacking lot of money if you want to buy it as a full kit. You're actually saving about almost $200 to buy it as a kit, so that's pretty cool. So obviously there's a bit of labor in putting this thing together, and you can just get the PCB and panel with the SMDs pre-soldered, which is actually not a bad idea if you really are on a budget and you've got some stuff lying around. It's only $248 for that. For pounds, convert for you, £586 for the fully assembled module. And if you're living in Australia, you're sitting down, it's $1,200 living in Australia. Wow. They start shipping on the 18th of September if you're interested in buying this. Over to you guys.
I had a quick comment about, since you brought up the recording issue, since we see this a lot with gear. Do you think the people are just too eager to get it up and don't have the time to do it and just want to get it out there, or they just don't care about quality and selling their stuff after hearing a good demo?
I don't know. It's a head scratcher. I mean,
it's weird, right?
By now, you'd think most people would understand it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because you want to hear it.
Sometimes it's people who understand sort of traditional audio but don't understand digital audio, as in, they find software really challenging and they can't be bothered.
But like somebody said in the chat, he made this thing, so he understands quite a bit if he made this thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes people have tunnel vision. They're very brilliant in one area, but they can't see certain.
Then you have to get people to watch it. What do you think? Is this good enough? Yeah. Get your friends to look at it, because
you'll see later on.
Sales.
I agree. Yep.
You'll see later on, Andy. There's another product we're going to show later on where he outsources the videoing to other people, and the guy that did the video does an amazing job. But then I'm stuck with the problem that I can't actually play his video because he's a YouTuber and he'll give me a copyright claim. Yeah. So, yeah, if you are a manufacturer and you're going to outsource your videos, one of the things you can do is you can say to the people, guys, I'm happy for you to do a video. You can have this for free. That's your payment, or if you want to do it, or if we can, negotiate a term or whatever. But one thing you must do is you can't monetize your video.
Yeah.
So, and if you do get copyright claims, you know.
So, because my videos are monetized, but you could take one of my videos and you wouldn't get a copyright claim because I've set that up. So the YouTuber can set that up at the beginning. That
Yeah.
You know. So it is possible that.
So the monetizing doesn't automatically do that. Is that what you're saying?
And it would
Not if you
also
don't
be
set it up.
if it was me, I would also say please put a little thing in the bottom right hand corner saying that.
Mm.
Because that's the other thing we don't know.
Actually, I haven't done that, but
tell people.
But, you know, it's a good
Yeah.
point.
Please use this video.
This video may be fairly distributed. Your video.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of monetizing a demo video anyway. It's supposed to be out there for everyone to see and enjoy it. So who cares about
Exactly.
it? You know?
Yeah.
Because the monetize button's so attractive.
It may. I mean, like, let's make 5 cents. Yeah. No. It may be unintentional. They may just like upload it and think, oh, I've done my job, you know, and not realize that they've caused all this trouble. I remember talking to DivKid about this, Ben, a while ago, and he's like, yeah, actually, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it does. And he goes, okay, cool, I'll look into it. And obviously, Ben's gone and you know, fixed things up since he's done it. But I mean, at the same time, his channel's massive for, you know, for
sure.
He makes a living off of YouTube and other things he does, of course. But you know, YouTube is a big part of his living that he makes. So you know, in those
also
cases,
Gasmaster too. How many things have you bought because of DivKid, right? So
yeah, a few. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Alex is another guy. Alex, as in Maya Melodies. So he's another guy that I've bought stuff because of his videos. I think most people who have bought a Metropolis could attribute it to Maya Melodies. But yeah. And Alex Ball, God, man, stop showing vintage gear because I just keep gassing after it.
Oh, wow.
No, he's good. He's a good lad. Are we done with this?
He's great.
Karian, did you want to say anything about it, Chris?
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, you go first, Ian.
Go then. No, I was just going to say it's quite pretty but pointless. Those lights, I think
They're pointless lights.
Yes.
They don't point anywhere.
but they are
Ian.
pretty.
Is that the problem?
they're pretty. Yeah, they don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is sort of a matter of clarification. I'm not sure if it's really that important, but this is the in top right hand corner here. This is from the user manual. These are the actual.
Wait. Bang.
These are the actual modulation routing. This is what the code, the 16-bit DNA code sequence actually changes. So you can see here.
It's massive, isn't it?
It's routing.
Yeah.
It's the routing of it. So your knob positions completely analog. They don't change with the patch. So when you're talking about recalling a patch, you're just recalling like the patch cable. I guess it's patch cables basically is what you're recalling, but you're not recalling all of the levels and settings.
Oh yeah.
So when you're recalling
basic,
a patch, you're not really. So I'm just thinking about someone who's coming from the non-modular world might be a little confused when they look at this and go, why isn't it recalling the settings I set? It's supposed to recall those settings, but it's not quite that kind of idea. It's just the patching that it's actually recalling. So that's all I wanted to make clear.
Even a Buchla 200E doesn't do all that. It does some memorization of, but not every knob setting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, about the only one that's kind of traveling down the right direction for that sort of true patch settings is that Warthog that we showed earlier in the year.
Oh yeah.
So,
but a lot of desktop synths and normal synths are fully recallable patch, and they're analog.
And there's a lot of synths that don't have patches at all. Yeah, like a Model D, for example. And you don't need one. You don't need one if you know what you're doing. Cool. That was a good point, Chris. Well done. Okay, now mentioned before that the topic today is new synths, and we're also doing new samplers. And bang, here's a new sampler. It's the Woo, the Woo one. If you're interested, this is a cute little thing, isn't it? So this is a Kickstarter. Definitely interesting little Kickstarter video coming out your way in a sec if you haven't seen it. It's Daren's not here, but this is for Daren. Daren, this is a portable battery-powered sampler and looper designed for the park bench. They've said for on the go, but I've just changed it. And we are going to have Daren's going to give me a little park bench certified stamp.
TBC,
We're going to have that on the show soon. So, yeah, I've got the second suck of the salve, and I've got the collect them all ones ready to rock and roll. So just in case. This one is not a collect them all, guys. A lot of people ask me, this how is a can collect you
Oh,
them all. There it
show?
is there.
Well,
Whoa,
you can do it.
I'll do that. Collect them all is, which one was it? That one? There's a collect them all. And there's the second suck of the salve. They're all ready to go. Where were we? We were there. Cool. Let's talk about the work, the Wonder Camera Woo 1. Yeah, battery-powered looper, sampler. It is compact. You'll see how compact it is in a sec. It actually really is compact. Ian, I did think of you as well. I feel like you may like this. I feel like it's kind of, it's got a bit of an Ian vibe to it. It's got kind of 7 sort of modes to it. It's got a looper, a sampler. There's a music composition thing. I'm not really sure what they mean by that, whether it's some sort of arrangement thing. I'm not sure how that works, but anyway, that's what they're claiming. It has a finger drum system with a scissor switch key. It has a keyboard, obviously, with built-in instruments, and it has a music game that you can play along with. And there's also MIDI. You can use it as a MIDI controller if you want. So there's your 7 different creative modes. The sampler, by the way, is pretty lo-fi. Well, not that lo-fi. It's CD quality, 44.1K with 16-bit. So it's not really like making me excited. But they do that because the chips that they're using and the storage space and everything like that. That's the reason why they go for that 44.1.
Sweet spot.
It is. It's
old school sampling too, right? Where the higher pitch is like Munchkin and the lower pitch is slowed down. Yeah.
There is a built-in mic on there as well, so you can do sampling via that. But there is no external audio input on this, so that kind of is a little bit of a bummer. I felt like they could have maybe duplicated the mic. With that. Anyway,
well, you can wire in your own. It's not that hard to do that. So.
But you do bring samples into this through a drag and drop thing via USB, and you can resample, and you can do apparently unlimited track layers on this with their little music arranger. There's undo as well, so you can save things and undo it and things like that. And there's also FX mixing into the sampling as well. So when you're thinking about the sampling, resampling, all that sort of, they're all related, right? Those things that I just mentioned.
Did you say sample my mic or not even that?
You can by the built-in mic, yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool.
161 built-in sounds. There's 140 samples, and there's 14 grooves, and there's then 7 Wonder tracks spelt with WUNDER because it's the company name. Wonder Camera. Yeah. There's filter effects, pitch shifter, arpeggiator with a quantize, groove chaining. There's the Wonder mode, which is that music thing. There's an LE guided play mode with customizable MIDI visuals and social media sharing. Interesting. USB-C for those who like that. 50 hours battery time on this. 50 hours with headphones, and about 5 hours if you're using the built-in speaker. So if you're using it playing with the speaker, it's going to chew up the battery. But if you're just using headphones, approximately 50 hours on this. This thing only weighs 280 grams. It's crazy. Anyway, let's have a look at the vid. It's a kind of crazy video, but these guys are all excited. So let's get excited with them.
It's a portable music inspiration creator. You can use it anytime, anywhere. For your beat cooking or music creation.
Wow.
makes music creation effortless. Store it and perform or share anywhere. Stereo. 2 channels. The arpeggiator adds a layer of surprise to your creation.
It's obviously an excuse just to get her in skimpier clothes.
What the hell?
Pretty much.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the fake mustaches.
That one broke.
Yeah.
Wool One is truly everywhere. All in.
Wow.
As you said, they are very excited.
They're
about
very
it.
excited.
It's entertaining. Yeah, it's definitely. They got your attention.
Pricing. Pre-order via the early bird quick starter is US $319, which will later go up $40 to $359. It's not a massive carrot to be dangling, to be honest, guys. Then they're saying the regular retail price will be $429 when it hits the streets. There is a deposit offer. You can put $3 US down, and you get up to 35% off, plus VIP perks and a mystery gift. This is all via their Kickstarter thing, so you guys need to probably go and read a little bit about that. But look, if you're in Australia, it's $690. It's a little on the pricey side, I feel, for what it is. But anyway, that's just my opinion. It's going to be released. They didn't say. Not telling me. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they've reached their target on Kickstarter, by the way, too. I had a bit of a look. Anyway, you guys tell me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I have to say, I've got plenty of stuff that'll do this, and I'm not excited by it, if I'm honest. You know, but if I didn't have anything, then no, it's not a chompy. I have to say, I do hate those bloody clacky keys.
Yeah.
You know, I would never use that as a MIDI controller. You know, you plug a proper keyboard into it or something else.
It's meant to be like a laptop keyboard, apparently.
Yeah, which I mean, I know everybody uses them. I mean, Seat Track's got them as well. They're pants, really.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean,
Fair enough.
prices. Well, look what else is on the market. You can probably get a second-hand OPZ for half the price, and Seat Track is well within the same price bracket, and I'd much rather have that. I know.
Yeah.
Well, Seat Track is much more featured than that, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It really is, yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's a bit of a Korg US sale going on at the moment, so there's a couple of Korg offerings that fit in that little groove box zone that you may want to look at as well. If you live in the US, that is. And if you don't live in the US, this is the sound that you'll get if you try and buy something from Korg US.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty much.
I wonder if I could. Do I still have a Korg account? Let's have a look, shall we see? Korg dealer.
Yeah.
Even micro granny and stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that's in this range. So
yeah, there is.
As much as I love this portable stuff, I mean, have you used Life? This app called Life. This app is amazing.
It's a good app.
Talk about recording stuff in the coffee shop and on the go and making beats out of it. Nice. Once you get home with the Life recordings, it's unbelievable. It's really cool.
Yeah, speaking of that Korg US sale, you can get a SQ64 for about $200 off their RRP. which is pretty insane. So if you guys are living in the US, you're watching the show, just jump on it now, because I don't know how long that's going to be for, but there's some pretty cool deals to get. I think they're trying to get rid of some stock, ready for some new stuff, maybe. I'm not sure. Guys, I kind of say this is not for me. I feel like I kind of did the whole Korg Volca thing years ago, and I kind of, bought into that small gadget stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And then I kind of matured in a way, and then if you're going to do a little sampler, this baby here is probably going to kick that thing out of the park. It doesn't do games, but this thing is absolutely amazing. This is amazing. And it's cheaper. So there you go. Get yourself a P6.
I mean, you wish them well with it, and I'm sure they'll probably sell enough.
Yeah.
It
has
very competitive, isn't it? The market
has a niche.
And everyone has a phone. There are already great sampling apps on the phone, so there's kind of no point.
Yep. All right. So there's your new sampler. So don't say I didn't deliver on that. Next, we're going to go across to some more Eurorack stuff. This one's the Totem. Now, the Totem, this is going... How do I say this? Caveman Modules makes this, but he sells it through the Michigan Synthworks store. So if you're looking for this, that's how you'll get it. But it doesn't mean it's, not good or anything. It's just kind of a little small technicality, I guess. But what is this is actually really cool. This is a multi-mode VCF. It's a collaboration, but basically it is by the Caveman Modules guy. So you get this kind of 16 distinct different filter modes, which are inspired by the Roland classics. And you get some tone shaping through the drive and expressive control via some multiple CV inputs. So the filter gives you a selectable A-B system. You can see that A-B switch in the middle left of the module there. And these are the different modes that you can play with. You can have a 24 dB. Guys, what's a 24 dB low-pass filter also called? 4-pole. 18 dB low pass filter. Not, is it a 3-pole? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. No, 4-pole. 6 dB per pole. 4-pole.
12 dB low pass filter and 6 dB low pass filter. Now, one thing I will say is you don't often come across. You get the common ones are the 24 and the 12, right? They're the two common ones that you get in a lot of synths. And 18 is kind of like a little bit less common, but still there. But 6, I haven't seen many. 6 dB low pass filters. And then with that, you get the variant of high pass. So for all of those, and then on top of that, you get a 12 dB bandpath and a 24 dB bandpath. So it doesn't do all the poles on the bandpass, which makes sense. And there's a notch and an all pass, obviously, and mixes thereof. So mixes thereof is kind of one of the things that this does, right? And then you've got this massive drive control for saturating it. And it is a little bit of a chunky module for a filter. It's a 12 HP module. 20 milliamps of power draw on it. It's a beautiful thing. Right, let's have a look at the vid, and you guys can have a listen. Shout out to Caveman Modules, by the way. Here we go. Let's do 6. let's do this. It's a combination. And he does things like phasing. Some attenuation.
Sounds like warm leather right there.
I mean, he's just showing you the filter features. He didn't change the... Actually, I actually appreciated that he didn't change the music going into it, because you could then... Your ears could go, okay, that's the next one, yep, and I'm not hearing a different sound each time, which does confuse you. So, and there was no effects either. So for me, that's what you need to do to demonstrate a filter, I feel. I mean, he probably could have done a spectrum analyzer on there to show some visuals, and maybe an oscilloscope. Maybe, that doesn't really worry me too much. You can actually have a look at that yourself if you want to. Would have liked to have seen more demonstration on the AB and the switching in the middle. That would have been kind of cool, because that's kind of one of its features, and also that drive control on the bottom left. Would have been nice to see some more stuff about that. But other than that, guys, over to you. $129 US.
Nice to see my old Dr. Rhythm there. I used to have one then.
Aren't they great?
Absolutely. I wish I never got rid of it. It was great.
You can get this through Juno Records in the UK for 115, you might as well say, with some change, pounds. So that's the price in the UK. Yeah. You can pre-order these.
Juno are good guys.
They are. You can pre-order these with a 5% discount applied at the checkout. And they're saying that shipping will be... This is Michigan Synth Works that does this. Shipping will start in September, because it says modules will ship September 2025. The only thing I probably would say is, Chris, you probably agree with me here, is what, other than the different modes filters, and there's so many out there in Eurorack land. What are we trying to achieve here with this module? I'm kind of a little confused by it.
I thought maybe it was just kind of trying to resurrect those sort of earlier stage series Roland filter configurations. That's the only thing I could really
as
pick
a
out
collection.
And all they've done is said, these are the configurations. We put them all in one module, and then they rolled with it further, and this is it's just where it's ended up. I found it a bit more interesting when they created this style of control. It's not a bad sounding filter by any means, but as you said, there are now getting to be quite a lot of multi-mode filters modules out there. Certainly more than there were 2 or 3 years ago. I've got one or two, and I'm quite happy with the ones I've got, and I don't hear anything here which is particularly characterful. For example, I find myself sort of more craving these sort of Formanty filter heading type filters now, or the Scrat is really good because it's just kind of bonkers distortion and weirdness character basically. So, and I've got a really good multi-mode filter in that SEM filter from SEM VCS from who are they called? Robots or something.
Oh, I remember that filter.
G-Force.
G-Force. That's him.
G-Storm.
Yeah.
G-Storm.
The guys.
G-Storm. Should be two companies starting with G.
Yeah. G-Storm Electro.
G-Storm's good. They make good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so when I look at this, they're about the same size. They are the same size, in fact. So when I looked at this, I thought, kind of.
I have their Gyrinx filter from the
comparison.
Syrinx. It's really cool.
Yeah. So this would be the pricing on this is probably a little better. No, when I bought G-Storm, it cost me quite a bit because it was through Reverb Store. So this would probably would end up being cheaper here, landed in Australia. So
well, if we're going to buy it, we're going to be buying it through the Juno Records store because I think it'll probably equate to being cheaper. Postage and tariffs, avoiding the postage and tariff issue. So, but yeah, do your research.
Come on, tariffs are nothing. Come on.
Yeah. Sure, Orange Man.
Yeah.
The thing about, just to say about Juno, if you're going to buy anything from Juno, don't accept the price that's on their website. Drop them an email and they will always give you a discount.
Okay.
Now, granted, when I bought the Mio XL, they couldn't give me much of a discount, but they knocked a $5 off it, And that's happened every time that I've bought from them. Just drop them an email to customer service and say, look, can you beat this price? And they will. Yeah. They're brilliant.
You'll really like that MIDI module there, Ian. It's actually really super cool. For me, it was either going to be that or the Creative Lab one that I got. And the only reason why I got the Creative Lab one was because I became one of the beta testers for it. So it became a no-brainer. But if I was in the market to buying one and that Creative Labs one wasn't sort of on the table at the time, I would have got the one you've got.
Yeah.
The web interface control thing for it is actually really super handy. It's really cool.
I had a quick look at a couple of videos before buying it, and it looked fairly straightforward. So, I was just, the reason I haven't had time to wire it up yet, but I was trying to get it somewhere close to all this stuff so that, and dug this little stand thing out of the attic. And it will stay there, so that'll be fine.
Yeah.
To wire the whole thing in.
Yeah. All right. Obviously, we're finished with that. Let's go to another Eurorack module, which is by our friends Akeiko, I think. Anyway, Akeiko Instruments. This is the Virgo. Now, the Virgo is a tone VCO. This is what they're calling it, a tone VCO. It's a tone generator. So it's VCO and it's a tone generator. Now, before we get into the weeds with that, isn't that the same thing? Anyway, okay. Right. It's designed to be 5 different waveform outputs, including a morph mode. It expands sonic possibilities beyond a traditional oscillator because of that, and it's got cross modulation, PWM, hard sync. So far, that sounds like a lot of oscillators out there anyway. Virgo offers a rich tonal shaping for both melodic and experimental patches. It has a stable 1 volt per octave tracking. Okay, so that's interesting how they say that, because I often blame the CV input that doesn't do the volt per octave tracking more than the actual oscillator module. So I kind of thought to myself, maybe it is the oscillator module that's not doing the tracking properly. Yeah. Anyway, at any rate, it doesn't really matter. Definitely. If you put a quantizer through it, it's still going to sort your problem out. Especially one that actually listens back to the actual output of your oscillator.
Self-calibrating,
Yeah. So like the Clavis one I've got is really good. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of stuff that this can do. It's only 8 HP. It does this thing called double cross modulation for the input and output. There's 4 classic mode waveforms that you'll see, plus the morphing output. What else can I tell you? Nothing else. I want to show you the video. It's a canary in that module.
It's the technical demo part.
It's a canary.
I'm waiting for the dog whistle.
There's freaking 50 dogs outside my door right now. There we go. That's the morph. It's a wiggly knobs on this module.
Bit wiggly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he's got super strong fingers, this guy.
Yeah, they're going to be 9mm pots, I'd say, with caps on. There's another telltale sign, I'll tell you later.
Bit of modulation going into this one.
Bagger counter.
Getting the lost in space tones there. I'll let you guys watch the rest of that video on your own time. Over to you guys. Did I tell you the price? 140 euros is the official price, 150 US, 230 Aussie, and 120 pounds.
That's alright. Yeah, quite like it. I like the look of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I was going to say was telltale sign that the pots are poking through the front panel and they're possibly affixed to the PCB is the screw at the top.
Yeah.
You've got to attach it to the panel, top of the panel, somewhere between the jacks and the... Yeah, as a designer, I know this problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The middle one, I couldn't tell whether. I think the middle one might have been a through panel pot, but yeah, the 6 definitely look like they're... and you've got a switch, rocker switch in the middle. You've got to support that, support the PCB. So, yeah, but it's... yeah, it's nice. It sounds all right.
I'm still
don't hate it.
I don't get the whole tone generator thing. The only thing I can think of...
Yeah, it's weird.
Is during the video, you guys would have noticed, I might just go back to the shot here. Maybe where he's moved his hand out the way here. Yeah, this one. So during the video, he cross-modulated it with his other module called the Dominus. And you'll notice that the Dominus is a dual oscillator. It's like a crazy, massive, big module.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that he's built this thing to companion that so that he can do crazy cross modulations, or even maybe to sort of thicken up the oscillator on the left with, tones, on the right. I'm not sure. It's
he's not just doing basic
stuff.
waveforms like every other oscillator, and he's mixing stuff either on board or with external. That could be like a tone thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could just be in reference to the mixable oscillator.
Yeah.
Knob in the middle.
Yeah.
Kind of like on a synth, you have, like, you call it a voice when it's really a mix of different synth tones. It's really a hybrid sound and not a single oscillator waveform.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably getting stuck on terminology.
You can CV it. You can CV the tone generation. You can cause it to put an LFO in there and it'll swing like everything with a variable mix with a single. So that's a tone generation, I guess. Generating tone changes. So that could be all
there you go. Could be that. All right. Well, I mean, it's not overly expensive. I think it's relatively
it's
inexpensive.
reasonably priced new oscillator.
You can never have enough oscillators in your Eurorack if you are.
And the morphine stuff is cool too. Morphine is a nice feature. So.
Yeah, I'd like variable waveforms.
Yeah, it'd be nice if the pots weren't wiggly though. I'm not a big fan of wiggly pots.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he was pushing at an angle instead
He's
of
like,
grabbing them. He was
he's the
mostly,
Incredible Hulk. He's got massive
Yeah.
issues.
Most people are going to
playing
twist
my
it, not
oscillator.
push on it. Because, like, a lot of people, the tricks on when you're doing like an EMOM or something like that, and you have minimal hands, you grab the edge of things to quickly move it.
Yeah.
And most gear is panel mounted; it doesn't care, but this is clearly not. So,
Yeah. That's
All
the
right.
thing. That's where it gets
All right. Well,
dicey.
the next thing that we're going to show you is actually I wouldn't say it's a DIY project. I'd say it's a project. It could be DIY, but at the moment it's a prototype, and it's called AnySub. And what this does is it takes it's a passive AnySub too. This is actually what makes this really ingenious. It takes any oscillator input and does a sub output. So you've got a -1 octave or a -2 octave output, and it requires no power. It just uses the audio, and it does this using CMOS circuitry. So we've
CMOS.
heard that term CMOS again. It's quite a interesting thing what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
There was a Error Instruments module that they brought out a few months ago, which had this poke thing, which was a CMOS thing.
Yeah.
And you could actually drive this module without even having your eurorack powered on. So this, once again, the CMOS circuitry enables this to work. And there is a video actually shows you this working. So before I talk about what the two different ones are, there you got a eurorack version, by the way, and a desktop sitting on your desk version. So the one on the left and the right is the desktop. I don't know why there's two of them there, and the one in the middle is the eurorack, and it's not scaled to size, by the way. It's just so that I could squeeze them into the same photo. If you're wondering, okay, let's have a look at it. He's done a video, and I'll talk about how this is going to come about in a sec. So that's the desktop video, desktop module there. It's tiny. All right, so you get the idea. Easy peasy. Okay, pretty cool idea, I think. So he wants volunteers to test this module in their setups before he releases the schematic. There's production files and builder materials and all that sort of stuff he's got ready to go with this. He's described this as an EDI, or Equitable DIY Initiative. I actually haven't heard of that before, or maybe I have, I just haven't remembered it. So he intends it to be free, but he wants people to donate. If they're interested in doing this, he wants people to donate to two charities. He's got this thing called the Women's Audio Mission and the Trevor Project, if you build one. So it's commercial use requires donations proportionate to the number of modules sold, and more details will be provided once the production of this goes through, it's finished with the testing. So what do you get? You get a dual sub oscillator, which you can output 2 different octaves of the input at the same time. And at the same time, you can also configure this as a handheld or an 8 HP Eurorack module. It's self-powered, requires no external power at all. And it, like I said before, it's based on CMOS logic components. So there's no pricing at the moment, as I said, and the release date is not even gone there yet. So as a proof of concept, you've seen the video, you've seen it works. He just wants some people to volunteer, I guess. And yeah, not a bad little idea. I feel getting people to donate to charity is a good thing. Gives it sort of, you know, a nice little flavour. That will depend, I guess, if you look at these things, right? I kind of worry, because if this is a cool idea, someone will grab it and copy it and
once
sell
the cat's
it
out of the bag.
Yeah.
That's the
and
thing.
then it's all over Red Rover.
But maybe it's the goal is short term. You know,
it might be, yeah.
6 months to a year's of donations is probably worth the effort. You know,
yeah.
Might be exactly.
Look, we have a very honest market. Nobody steals, not even big companies that start with a certain letter. No, but come on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing this
world,
isn't it?
This is not the first, as you said, it's not the first module to use this unpowered passive. Well, really what it is it's self-powering. So it's deriving power from the signal.
Yeah, of course. The audio
the
signal.
CMOS element is a very low power consuming and low power destructive technology that they're exploiting to do it. Yeah. Neutral Labs also have that what's it called, the drum machine that you can unplug the power and it still works. I remember that. Yeah. I forget what it's called again. It had another funky name.
Yeah.
Will be processed.
Anyway, I think we can move on from this, but I think this is going to got some legs, and hopefully I wish this guy good luck.
By the way, you can get, obviously, this same kind of configuration in a powered module from other manufacturers. For example, Feedback Modules do one.
They do.
Yeah.
And they do a very good
Yeah,
job.
Gaz Williams did a video a couple years ago on some module like this that was for going up and down octaves. So.
Yeah. The one that I actually was interested in was the what do you call it? You know on string synthesizers, how you've got the
divide down technology.
Divide down. There's a module that you can get which does divide down.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah, so that's kind of a cool feature with lots of little outputs, depending on the divide down version you get. Yeah. Do check that out. Anyway, that is kind of a sort of, a useful take anyway. I'd be interested to know if there's any sort of degradation of the audio using that CMOS thing, if the audio actually does go through it and there's any sort of degradation on it.
Well, if it's passive, you're definitely losing some juice, right? So.
Oh yeah, listen, yeah, but so do LED cables, and you get mixed results depending on the system how you use them. Some LED cables you can't use it in a certain configuration; it kills your signal, and you're like, oh, that's annoying. I'll go to back to a regular patch cable. Sometimes put in an LED cable, and it works completely fine. So it depends on what's being patched or what through them. And what LED, if a green LED uses a different kind of voltage to a red LED and so forth. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Next is this by Pladask Electrisk. This is called the Stereo Drad. There is a Drad module out, but this is the Stereo Drad, D-R-A-D-D. If you want to know a little bit about these guys, these Pladask Electrisk are a Norwegian company based in Bergen. Hello to everyone from Bergen. I don't know if we've had many people from Norway. I know there's a couple, but not many. So it'd be nice to know if anyone's from Norway. Shout out. Anyway, these guys have been around for about 10 years, and the Stereo Drad actually became a module today because of their origins of doing things like the Fabricat guitar pedal. So what this is a experimental time-based audio processor. What it does is it manipulates techniques such as granular synthesis, modified sample playback, and tapped delay lines, which result in synthetic, ambient, and otherworldly textures. So you can see the module there. It's got it's kind of got a switch in the middle, which is a 3-position switch. Then you can switch between grain, TDL, which stands for tap delay line, and tape. And they're the 3 modes. And then you've got the parameters, parameter 1, parameter 2, modulation controls, and a clock. And there's also this loop mode down the bottom, which adds a feedback decay line and sort of enhances experimentation that way. Yeah, there's a vid. Now, this vid was done. This is where I said before, there's videos done outsourced. I don't know if I've got permission to play this video, but this company hasn't got a video of their own. So they've given this guy a module, and here it is. And I'm just going to, I don't know. I'm going to show you the start of this video because I kind of feel like it's pretty cool what this guy's done. Here we go.
Feel alive. That's always been the spirit of Pladask Elektrisk. From a small workshop in Norway came pedals like Fabricat, Romford, Backlengs, Faber. Effects that embrace noise, artifacts and quirks and turn them into something musical. When Pladask moved into modular, the first Strad carried that philosophy forward. Taking ideas from the Fabricat pedal, it combined granular processing with time-bending delays. It wasn't about clean echoes or smooth reverbs, it was about pushing sound until it warped and seeing what new textures emerged. Now with the second version, Drad Stereo, those ideas expand into a wider field. True stereo processing, independent randomization on each channel, and deeper modulation make it more spacious, more unpredictable, and more alive. The algorithms, grain, tap delay line, and tape return with new dimension, constantly shifting in ways you don't quite expect. At the heart of it all is the FV1 DSP chip. It's not the most powerful processor out there, but that's the charm. The FV1 has been a cornerstone of experimental pedals and modules because its limits create character. Just like Bucket Brigade delays or early digital chips, it doesn't aim for perfection, it gives you personality. And
yeah, so that was a good point. Using the DSP chip, because they're low powered as well, those DSP chips. Also limited to how much you can process through them. It does create that sort of crunchiness, I guess, a little bit with its results, which does give you sort of interesting artifacts, especially for the grains, the granular side of things. So interesting module. Hell, there's a 46-minute video there for you guys to go and watch. Price $285 US. If you're living in England, £214. I don't know how that worked out, but anyway, there you go. And $440 Aussie. It's a what you'd expect, I guess, for an effects module. Guys, what do you think?
Interesting.
Yeah, that wasn't it. I've listened to, I think I went through the first demo and the second demo. First demo, it took me a while to realise he was running the whole thing through C-Legs, which kind of defeated the purpose of listening to the module. So I wasted a bit of time there. Because I was like, that thing sounds so nice. Oh, that's the C-Legs. Of course it sounds nice. I think I heard another one. Yeah, then I found one that was a bit more, and I could definitely hear that it was just the module. Yeah, it's more, definitely more on the experimental side. But it's certainly heading into that same territory as all of these granular type of options that we have available to us now. So I think if you're really into that, again, it'll come down to your personal taste as to what you're looking for, specifically in that world. If you just want to tap your toe into that world, I don't know if this is the right thing for you, because I kind of feel as though it's lacking a bit of some of the things that other granular type effects have, like an inbuilt reverb at the end and stuff like that. Whereas, this is much more, a bit more bare bones.
It made me think a bit of the fact that I've got probably something quite close to this already in my microcosm, in my pedal.
You've got way more in your microcosm.
Yeah. The only trouble with the microcosm is you can only do one thing at a time. So, but
and you can't control too much of it. Yeah.
No, but I still love it. But and if I was getting into modular, I would certainly be interested in this sort of stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely,
as
I said, doesn't disappoint in terms of giving you that kind of vibe from what I could hear. So it's definitely in the right territory. And as I said, definitely aficionados of that kind of style of sound would be able to talk better about, the nuances of it and why it's, more organic than another algorithm. But again, we're comparing algorithms again. But I didn't know about the FV1 chip before I wrote those notes down. So using a different chip that has its own artifacts is a good point, which I had not previously noticed. So that's worth pointing out.
Yeah, I can't remember. Someone did tell me one stage that the microcosm might have used the Shark DSP chip, which is I believe it's a bit beefier than what this has. So,
right.
I would say this is probably more along the lines of the Red Panda particle, if you're looking at like a sort of comparative guitar pedal. Don't forget these guys did guitar pedals too, the Fabricat, for example. So, and it was cheaper. I think these guys were cheaper than the Red Panda. I think the Red Panda were quite expensive, if I remember rightly. Amazing pedals.
Yeah, Red Pandas are expensive.
Yeah. But for me, sometimes you want glitchy experimental stuff. And do you guys remember the other day we were showing that thing where you can have an A and a B routing, with your eurorack system, and you had that slider and everything. I mean, these things are kind of cool. So you could have, your clean sound, and then off you go through this and blend it, whatever. And it kind of just creates those sort of weird live transients that you can do with the same sound. I like that sort of stuff.
Stops it from being static.
Yeah.
Stuff that makes your ears go, what's going on? That's
what happened to my sound.
Not quite recognizable. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Interest creates interest.
I like that sort of stuff.
All for that. Yeah.
I felt the price was okay. I felt $285 is kind of, pretty cool actually, considering the comparative competitors out there in guitar pedal land especially are probably more like around the $400 to $500 mark. And a microcosm is definitely one of those, but they're even more expensive. So, and the other problem with the microcosm too is it's so deep. It's where do you start with the thing?
So, yeah, I mean, I love it. I use mine a lot. Always for live work.
Yeah.
But it's
this world. This world, isn't it, Ian?
It's bonkers.
This granular
Absolutely.
texture sort of world.
Yeah.
And the other thing you could also use is some of the Mutable Instruments products do sort of tread in this world as well. Like Clouds is one.
Yeah.
Clouds would be a good one. And there's obviously the Behringer clone of that now that you can get for very, very little money. I don't know if it's available yet, but $99 will get you a Clouds clone. After Later Audio do a Clouds clone as well, which is probably a little bit more than $99, but Pladas, good job by them. The Stereo Drad. Does anyone speak Norwegian? Does Drad mean something? I didn't check that.
Good question.
Translate.
Also, if they make guitar pedals, the knobs here aren't going to wobble. So.
Yeah, it's kind of traditional knobs too. The classic.
Don't think
knobs.
It translates according to Google. Could be wrong though. Drad is Drad. Yeah, could be a slangy thing that they're doing over there. Not sure. Could just be a name. Well done anyway. That's the last product for the news this week. Jeez, it took us a while to get through the news. But there you go. We had some effects. We had some samplers. We had some synths. And we had oscillators and filters as well. I mean, synthy stuff galore. Yes, Eurorack, I know. But remembering, stuff like this Pladas Drad can be bought as a guitar pedal with a different name. or it can be put into a pod and you can, connect it to your synths. You guys don't have to have Eurorack to buy Eurorack products. And I always say this, Eurorack tends to be the pioneers that tend to lend themselves to going into the mainstream.
Plus, don't forget, people
world.
come here for Eurorack. A lot of channels shun them or don't cover them much or don't know much about them. People come here for the knowledge. So
yeah,
don't apologize for Eurorack.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all.
No,
I mean just to the viewers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why don't we, before we jump on to the next segment, why don't we send us another? Well, we'll go to here first.
Clue.
So let's do a clue. Yeah, a clue.
Ooh.
Pitch step. Ooh. My kid used to watch Blue's Clues when he was a kid. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We are doing Blue's Clues. Is it really great?
Never saw it, but know about it. Yeah.
When you're a parent, you just all the kids' shows. Songs.
It's true.
The Wiggles.
There's also Clifford's Big Red Dog. You ever see those books? Clifford's Big Red Dog.
There was Gabba Gabba. Yo Gabba.
Yeah.
There was my daughter was into Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
Bananas and Pajamas.
That next.
Yeah, B1 and B2. Yeah. But Bluey's the big one
Wiggles.
apparently now. Bluey, Australia. I've never watched the Bluey episode because my kids have all gone past that age now. But apparently Bluey's.
Isn't the Wiggles from Australia?
Wiggles are from Australia. Yeah, there's third generation Wiggles now.
Yeah.
Because some of the original Wiggles, they're kind of really getting on a bit now. They're probably in their mid-60s.
They should do a crossover with the Crocodile Hunter family.
Yeah. All right, we have done that. We've done that, and we're going to do this now. Price watch. Yay! Now, you guys know Andy was on the show a couple of weeks ago. Andy is in Brooksy. He sent me a message saying you guys should look at sound gas. There's a whole bunch of stuff on sound gas, and some of it's really kind of interesting. So rare and hard to get. Oh, excuse me, would be one of the questions I would say. But this one's
modified stuff too. A lot of modified things.
This one's a CS80. Look, CS80s, there's only about 700 in the world. I don't know if there's still 700 in the world. Kent will probably be able to tell you a relatively more accurate number than that. But 700-ish were made, right? So there wouldn't be that many in the world. And they're not easy to come by. And this one is £35,000. So 70 grand for us, Chris. $70,000 for a synth. Now you laugh.
I think Ken said Vangelis had 4 of them at one time. So.
You laugh, but
yeah,
a Fairlight when it came out in the day when we were young little whippersnappers,
$250,000 whatever.
It would have cost you the price of a house. Yep, the price of a house in Australia was the price of a Fairlight. So, I mean, this 70,000, you can't buy a house in Australia for 70,000 Aussie dollars. Well, you might. I mean, it's going to be an absolute.
You could buy a toilet.
You could, yeah.
Well, the Kurzweil 250 was 16,000 at one point.
Gazebo.
So
crappy house. Anyway,
gazebo.
Yeah, CS80 for sale, guys. Get excited if you really want to buy one. Do that. What else we got? We got another one from Soundgas, which is even more interesting, which is the Roland 700. And this particular one has got block 8, 5, and 2. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing the block 8 is... Oh, it says it in the description here. Main unit oscillators. 2 is the keyboard, and 5 is the filters and envelopes. So this has got 1, 2, 3 blocks. Why is there 4 pictures? Okay, that's just another version.
I noticed that last time I sent one of these in for Price Watch, Kent was saying we're missing a bunch of the modules. So yeah,
wasn't there a sequencer that is missing? I think it's missing a sequencer.
Yeah, sequencer and something else too. I think. Yeah.
Mixer. Oh no, mixer's in there. Or main unit is the mixer, isn't it? Right. Okay, that's just an oscillator mixer. That's not the other mixer. Okay, cool. Anyway, if you guys are interested in System 700s, £41,000 will get you this. I I'm probably going to get shot for this, but
Down.
the Maleko System 500 modules are pretty amazing, and they're nowhere near this price. I don't
affordable.
don't think you're going to get everything that this does, right? So it's not. It's and it's a different form factor, and yes, there's different idiosyncrasies. But if you want to kind of get that, you want to get that sound, and you want to kind of get that feeling that you're patching the same way and you're modulating in similar ways, System 500 will get you there. But if you have 41,000 or close to 42,000 pounds in your pocket, and you think, well, System 700's coming my way, cha-ching, you can buy it with add to cart, and yeah, good on you.
And one day it's going to show up in the rolling cloud in case people are cloud users.
So you can buy stuff on SoundGas. Just thought I'd give them a plug, and good on you, Andy, for bringing that up to us. Now we're going to head over to Reverb, and I found this because this was interesting for a few reasons. Number one, this has got the MC202. If you guys don't know what the MC202 is, it's basically a Groovebox version of the SH101.
101.
Yep. And it's on the live listing too, so we might as well have a look at it, that button. And three reasons I said. So reason number two, original box is always kind of cool when something is this old. And reason number three is the cassette is still there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a cassette.
Like, I haven't seen that cassette for a while, and I do remember that cassette. I never owned an MC202, but I was very, very close to buying one. And I waited a few years, and I got the MC505.
I was going to buy a 202 in lieu of a 101 once, but I heard the build quality in this is much cheaper than the 101.
I don't really remember the 101. What's the difference between a 101 and a 202?
No, I mean the SH101.
Oh, the SH101. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the build quality on SH101 isn't brilliant. So
no, but I heard people complaining about this one a lot. So.
Oh, right.
They look similar, I would say. Yeah. Roland have definitely come a long way with build quality with their plastic. That's for sure. Like,
yeah,
the all the IRA products and onwards have lasted very, very well.
Oh yeah.
But this looks beautiful condition. This one
looks in really good condition.
There you go. It's a serial number for those playing along at home. Serial number 200.
Display works.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's been replaced.
Yeah, super clean. That's amazing.
It's brand new, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, it's brand new.
This is like new old stock or something. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, let's have a look what it says. It's 3,000. Is this 3,000 Aussie or US? Oh, it's Aussie, I think. 3,000 Aussie.
Is it?
It's in original condition, never been disassembled or serviced. 100% original, works flawlessly. Cassettes sealed. Yeah, yeah.
Is that cassette posted online anywhere? Have you seen it on YouTube or anything? I'd like to hear that.
There was something on what do you call it? Gearspace. There's something. Go have a look. Search on Gearspace. Okay. Yeah, I remember talking to someone about this years ago on Gearspace. This cassette, because it's got things on it. Things. Anyway, let's keep going. What else did I find? Oh, and okay, we've been to Reverb. We are now going to go to eBay and look at the JV1000. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't often see JV1000s for sale. The keyboard version, that is. You don't often see these.
I just saw them at the used store. They have one there.
Well, you see, Andy, you probably agree with me. You see the modules, right? You see the 19-inch rack modules, right? A lot more than these.
Oh yeah.
But the cool thing about these is these did the cartridges, right? They did the what are the JX cartridges? What are they called? If this is the one I remember rightly. Anyway, let's have a look at the eBay listing. This one is still for sale on eBay. The next one I'm going to show you was not. And it went for sale in the middle of the week. It kind of sucks. You're doing this show, you're planning during the week, and then things go and sell. Anyway, that's fine.
Yeah.
Dang it.
This guy's had trouble taking photos and rotating them. I'm just getting a sore neck.
eBay helps you do that.
I know. Yeah, there's the cartridge, the 2 cartridge ports in the back. See on just next to the Roland badge. This one's never been gigged because there's no gaffer tape sticky residue over the Roland badge. The reason why these were good, this has got the floppy disk. That's right. Yes. You can load stuff, patches and stuff in through the floppy disk. That is right. Yes. I think, if I remember right, I don't know if I've got the dates right, but the XP series came out around about the same time as this, and the XP series was all loaded with all this stuff. Daren's got an XP50, by the way, if you're wondering. I've got an XP10. I've got the baby. Anyway, that's that. But these had the cartridges, and you could go with the cartridges. You could do this. You could collect them all. Why is that not showing? Where'd my thing go?
It's behind you.
It's behind.
It's behind you.
There we go. You can collect them all. Collect all the cartridges. Anyway, next is, this one is no longer for sale. I'm sorry, it was for sale during the week. But you can get yourself a Korg Poly 6. Well, you can't anymore because it's been sold. And I just wonder...
It's not a bad price, really.
Yeah.
Well, it's sold for more than that. It's sold for 676. So at the time I looked at this, there was no bids. So it says one bid, but there's actually no bids, right? And then it sold for 676. So you couldn't...
Sniper war.
Well,
probably.
I actually think that's really cheap. That's really
cheap. It is cheap. It is cheap.
And this is what I've been... This is what I've been saying to you guys about eBay. Do not sell your gear unless you're desperate.
It's jeopardy, man.
There's evidence right there.
I should never have sold mine.
There's a Poly 6 at my local Guitar Center now for about $1,200, I think.
Well, there you go. That's nearly half price.
That's it. Yeah.
And there was nothing wrong with this apart from the odd wear and tear, like you can see, scratches. I mean, God, a synth is supposed to be used. This one looks like it's been living in Canada. I saw an Ontario sticker before.
Yeah.
I mean, you expect to have like an 80 synth.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Those end cheeks, you can just replace them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's slightly better condition than when mine was in when I sold it. Just as an aside, a friend who's still up in Yorkshire was in a charity shop this week and picked up a Korg 700S, £450. Which is cheap. A really, really good price.
Yeah, that's very cheap.
Charity shop buy.
Wow. I mean, yeah.
Oh, wait, before I forget, I found a link. This guy, Sunshine Jones, has a great website, and he has the Roland factory cassettes. I just put the link in the chat, including the MC202. And it has a listing of the contents on it. So it's a couple of it's an invention by Johann Sebastian Bach, a couple of Debussy tracks, and Prelude by Johann Sebastian Bach. So it's cool. Yeah.
Cool.
And you can download it on that website.
There you go. Awesome. What would you buy this week out of Price Watch, guys? Just a reminder, you had a CS80, you had the System 700, you had the MC202.
Poly 6 would be cool, yeah.
JV1000 or the Poly 6. I mean, if you got the Poly 6 for that price, I reckon...
Oh, yeah.
You'd have queues of people, climbing over your friends. Get out of my way.
It was terrible for piano sounds, if I remember rightly. but brilliant for strings and organs and stuff like that.
I have
what
two
regular
answers.
synth is terrible for piano.
Can I have two answers, Ian? I have two answers.
You can go on then.
First answer is if I had money, it'd be the CS80, and the second answer is let's be real, Rans. You don't have money, so it's going to be the JV1000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a massive. I mean, look, call me a Vangelis fan. I love that era of Roland with just all the sounds that came out around then. One of my synths I used to own an XP30, and you could put the cartridges in the back of the XP30. Took the JX cartridges in them. It's so good, really, really cool. The only reason I sold the synth is because the keyboard on it was absolutely shite. To get aftertouch, you had to probably climb up onto the keyboard,
put your weight on it,
stamp your feet. The touch is working. It was so tough. It worked, but it was like, there's aftertouch. Yeah. Maybe there might have been something wrong with it. I don't know. But I just sold
One of my biggest regrets is I had a friend in college who was like a rich kid, so he had everything, right? He had all kinds of stuff. He got me into Emaxes and all that stuff, the samplers. But he had a CS40M he let me borrow for a weekend or something like that, just sitting in his closet. And I thought, this is really cool, but I didn't know about the whole monophonic, duophonic thing at the time. I just thought, I can't really play chords on this. It makes cool sound effects, and it's kind of funky, but I'm not sure if I like this. The sounds are cool, but I'm not sure about the performance part of it. And he probably would have sold it to me for a song. I should have just bought the damn thing. So stupid not to
just
grab
to keep
that.
in your closet with all the other collections, Matt.
Well, no, I would use it. He's the one that kept it in his closet. He was a spoiled brat.
He
didn't care about.
Fair enough.
He didn't care about anything, so he didn't.
All right. Well, we are through all the sections, and on the other side of that, we can do the third clue of the quiz. Now, as I bring the third clue up, I just want to let everybody know in the stream, I'm going to type how you want it. So you go, my name, Synth Quiz, and then you don't have to put the in little sort of triangle brackets, but that's the format I want. Right? Highlights my name, and then Synth Quiz, and then put your answer. You don't put it in the little triangle bracket. If you want to put it in the triangle brackets because you're that sort of person, go for it. Here's the third clue. If this doesn't give it away, I don't know what will. DCW.
Okay, so that's wrong.
There's the third clue. Yeah. I reckon I'm about to see the answer about. Yep. About now. I mean, we're good. He's not quite right.
Ban him.
He's not quite right. I mean, he's probably going to hate me for this. Okay. All right. Do you guys want to see the answer? The answer is the answer that I was looking for is
flagship. That's the Cosmo synth.
CC5000. CC5000 XL.
Well, 5000 and CZ1 are about the same, actually. It just has a sequencer.
Pretty similar. You're right, Wags. Absolutely, mate. You're spot on. By the way, what gave it away? DCW? I'm pretty sure DCW would have given it away. But what gave it away?
Pitch step, yeah.
I mean, I was umming and ahhing about putting the DCW in there and thinking, I was going to put the, because they have step envelopes in them, steppy envelopes. Yeah. There's a term that they used in the menu. I haven't got it on me now. I can open it and find it again. But yeah, there's a term that they use, something step, not modulation step, but something step to do with the envelopes. But yeah, you had pitch step. The pitch step was interesting, isn't it? Because of obviously phase distortion. So that, so DCW made it certain to him.
The CZ one is cool. I finally got one, but for years I was with a friend going to the local music store and playing with them because they were like the fanciest Casio we could find. We had just cheap Casios, and but it still had some really poor presets in it, like this horrible like motorcycle preset and some other ones. They go, this synth is really powerful, it has some great sounds in it, and then they have these like trash sounds in it, which is really funny. So
yeah,
I never played a CZ one. I played a CZ 5000. I always wanted one.
It's basically the same.
Could never afford it.
It's basically the same.
Yeah, could never afford it. Yeah.
CZ1 is the flagship because it had velocity and aftertouch and the cartridge slot and a few things that some of the other models didn't have.
James. Awesome. Yeah.
James.
James. No, James is a good guy. Right. So, yeah, that's it for all the segments and everything. We don't have any topics or anything other than we were wanting to sort of show new synths and new samplers, and we did that. So now we can actually just open it up to everybody where we go like this. Yep. It's Saturday Sonority time where we can be asked anything you like. Now, the Zoom channel is open. There's nobody in Zoom this week. Yeah. And if we didn't have that stupid glitch at the start of the show, we probably would have had more people on the show.
Yeah.
But actually, I feel like it's probably grown back to what it normally comes back to. There's 45 people at the moment.
45.
It's about normal. It's definitely, like we were talking about this a few weeks ago, it's definitely down from previous years, but apparently all the other shows are as well. So I don't know where people have gone. I'm not sure if maybe the synth market is kind of starting to lose a bit of a sort of glisten. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Is it summer? Is it summer holiday time?
It's summer for you guys.
That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Europe.
Summer's over here now.
UK.
School already started. So.
Yeah. Schools go back next week, I think. Here. Jane and I made the mistake of having a day trip to Bath yesterday and went for lunch, and it was literally just full of parents and kids. This little restaurant.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely heaving.
Yeah. Well, anyway, ask us anything because honestly, why not? If you're on the show right now and you're lurking in chat, jump into chat, say hi, tell us where you're from. I know that there's a lot of people in chat that we see every week, and there's nothing wrong with you guys seeing the same people, but there is definitely lurkers, so do jump on because I can tell because I can see the numbers on YouTube. It tells me. Marky's I've got nowhere else to go. Good on you, Marky. Yeah.
Neither have we, Marky. Neither have we.
Now.
That's the scene from An Officer and a Gentleman. He screams, "I've got nowhere else to go." So.
Nowhere to go. Yes, yeah. Mayonnaise, isn't it?
Well, if no one comes up with a comment, I guess, that we can bite into, what I'll do is I'll start proceedings off and talk about a little adventure I had during the week where I thought, well, actually, I had a couple adventures. So, yeah. There you go. Bostitch is lurking. G'day, mate.
Hey.
Nice to see you, buddy.
Hi, Matt.
Hey.
The first thing was I showed this before. I was playing with this during the week just to get some love. One of the things I like to do with the product, as you guys know, which is actually what started the Name That Synth segment, is to get a device in front of you and play with it until you got to the point where you're either going to throw it at the screen and make this sound, or you're going to keep it and you're happy with it. And so far, I've been really happy with this. Actually, getting samples on and off of this is actually really easy. And so one of the things that's cool about this is I think I've got it plugged in. I can turn it on. So I turn it on. There's a little granular synth in here, and the granular synth is actually cool fun. What makes it cool fun is that, I don't know, if you've got a sound that you've used in the past on one of your tracks, you can actually, get the stem of that sound and bring it into here and then play with it as the granular synth. And I'll show you. I just want to make sure this is working. So we need some audio. Just give me a sec, guys. I'll get the audio happening. Get rid of that JX800. I don't need that anymore. Okay, what audio is that coming in on? There we go. So we've got... All right, so I'll do that one in a sec. So this is the one I want to do first. So this sound here. You guys hear that? Is that loud enough?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I might make that a little bit louder. And obviously you can chuck this in keyboard mode. This is nothing special. This sound is the actual sound that was on one of my tracks. So chuck it into keyboard mode and you can... what you'd expect sampler to do.
Yeah.
Right. But then you can do this and go into granular mode. That's the same sound, but in granular mode.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got an effect on there as well. Built-in effects. You can hear it. You can hear the original sound in that. But that just sounds so cool when I'm like, yeah, okay, this is actually, I'm going to work with this. Okay, so there was the first thing I wanted to do. I wanted to see, okay, what can this do? And it's really quite powerful, the little granular thing in here. And with that too, you can change the pitch, the start, the stop of the granular engine. So you can actually, like, that's the sweet spot I felt was there, but we can mangle it. Now I'm changing the start point. It's almost got like a flangey sort of sound to it now.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's really cool fun. It's just really basic stuff. Anyway, these things are so dirt cheap too. And then the next thing was my kids had this toy. How do I get out of this granular? Here we go. So my kids had this little Chinese toy and it played this little stupid music thing. And one day I was with my phone and I recorded it playing the stupid music thing. And you can actually hear my kids humming to it in the background. I'll play it now and you can listen to it. This is the actual recording I did with my phone. You can hear my kid humming to it, right? I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Don't even know what this is, some Chinese toy, right? Anyway, it actually has a beat. It actually has a beat. So I've kind of tapped the beat out. It's about 89.5 BPM, and we can do this.
That's awesome.
So you take it out of gate mode. Watch this. It's hilarious.
Oh my God, that's a hit.
That's brilliant.
It's just so much fun, this little thing, eh? Seriously. And by the way, batteries. Haven't charged this thing. Haven't charged it for ages.
Can you plug a microphone into it to get closer to a source?
Yeah, you can plug a mic into it. You can plug an audio input into it. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Such a good little sampler, eh? And I mean, look, it's not an MPC. It's not that, right? But geez. And the other thing too is via USB-C, MIDI as well, MIDI DIN. I can chromatically play all of those samples with an external keyboard if I want as well, which is actually really cool, especially with that little granular synth. It's actually good fun. So yeah, it was that.
Am I right in thinking they all play well together? Because I've only got the S1, and the S1 plays really well with the TR8S. But
just like the vocals, they sync really well together.
They do. Yeah. They sync.
Yeah. I mean, I've got £100 to spend from birthday money, and I'm thinking, should I spend it on something like one of them?
Oh,
like
absolutely,
sampler
mate.
Or,
yeah, you'd love this, honestly.
I wouldn't mind.
What's anybody got the voice one? What's the voice one like?
I
voice
do.
tweaker.
I do. This is the voice one here.
Is it
the T? No, the voice one.
E4 in it.
E4.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
E4.
good. Really good.
And I have a VT3 and a VT4, and it's basically the same. So just the small one is fine.
Except it's cheaper.
So, well, I mean,
Yeah.
you think that the other ones do a lot more? They don't really. So
yeah. Shout out to who was it? John/BEDM. It says, "Hey Ranzee, chat. Show starts early in the morning for him here. You scroll back to see today's gear. Good on you, mate. Looks like fun batch. Good on you, buddy. So yeah, thanks for jumping in and shouting out. Yeah, good on you, mate. Right. So I said there were two things. So no one's said anything else in chat yet. And the other thing was I was driving in my car. Did a lot of driving, as you know, because I went away. And Enigma came on. Obviously, the famous Enigma. You know, sad.
With the great album actually.
Yeah, with the, the monks.
Yeah, brilliant.
Bloody shakarati.
Yeah, so it kind of it brought me back, right? It obviously brought me back to TR-909 and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Get me a copyright strike.
Yeah.
It's burnt into my brain.
It's a good discussion anyway to have. So obviously there's things that are very, very obvious in this track, and that is things like the TR-909 and the emulator with the what do you call it, the what were you saying it was called again? The
shakuhachi flute.
Shakuhachi, yeah. There's the M1s,
which is
as well, with the water loop.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That poor guy never got paid.
Yeah. Well, it probably sounds kind of like this.
Peter Gabriel used it all the time.
He did. Overused it, Mr. Gabriel.
Yeah, we can.
Rant's done the whole track, hasn't he?
We can find the bit here. Here we go. I haven't done the whole track, but here we go.
You used a different start point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that
used a different start point.
And also, I haven't mucked around with the you got to muck around with the envelope and stuff on this a little bit. So that was just straight at the Arturia Emulator 2V, by the way, was that, and I haven't even touched it, and I just dropped a MIDI into there. So that's that. I mean, yeah. But the thing that kind of got me wanting, okay, I want to talk to you guys about this, was the pads on this. So we all know that he had a DX7, or he actually had a DX7, or he had the SY77, I think, not a DX7. And we also know that he loved the Roland stuff, but he didn't have a well, he might have had a D50 lying around, but he didn't use a D50 on that album. He used a D70, and from what I actually can work out is the pad sound on it was called Space Dream, which is a patch on the D70. And you know what? I was actually thinking, maybe that's in the Roland Cloud, because I've got a Roland Cloud Ultimate subscription. Not in there at all, unless someone else knows. But I came up with something kind of, not the same, but kind of interesting to do with the pad sound. Let me see if I can find, what did I use for that now? Where are we? Might have been this. Yeah, it was this one. So I ran this sound through. So that would have been like what have we got? A C and an A, probably sounding stuff like. It's going to be quiet.
Yeah.
Is it? So this is part of the JV series sounds that you can get through Roland. This is what I was saying before, how much I love the the whole Roland, that era. Van Gelis loved it as well. That particular patch, if you're wondering, is called Spectrum Mod. if you're looking for it. And it's it's part of the Roland sound. But if you were to bring that in, in the background, it's definitely not the right pad, but it does have that kind of Enigma sort of feel to it, that sort of ethereal, running through the background thing. Yeah. But then there's the bell sound, right? The bell sound.
Well, that's PPG. Is that the PPG wave?
Nah, it was definitely an SY77, I reckon. But
okay.
I think he layered it with a sample because he does this. So what he does, apparently he's big on the samples. He loves his samples and he has the Akai and stuff. But what he used to do is he'd run his synths through the sampler and then layer it with something else. So you'd have the synth would generate the original sound, right? So you have that. I'm not going to play it exactly because I don't want to get a copyright strike. So that's actually two different sounds. So what you've got is a DX7 bell sound. I'll mute one of them.
You're using the attack portion or something, aren't you?
There's the bell sound.
Yeah.
To give you that ring. And the other one is like a clicking sort of toy box sound.
Yeah.
And when you bring them together, you just get that marriage of the two sounds. So there you go.
But when was the SY77? Oh, he said he had DX7, so he could have used that. Yeah.
Well, he probably had the DX7
because he used that sound in Sandra's in a Secret Land.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I just thought it was a PPG.
Just when you listen to a song and you think, I'm going to go back to the studio, I'm going to see if I can pull apart some of the sounds and see what I can come up with here with what I've got. And the answer is I can't come up with all the sounds he used because some of them he probably sampled and layered and resampled and
tricky.
And by the way, too, if you're wondering, oh, geez, that's a nice little reverb, because who thought that just then? Who thought that's a lovely little reverb that you're hearing on this stuff? Nobody. Okay. Well, I'm telling you now, if you are interested in the reverb,
I'm thinking it now. Yeah,
thinking it now, aren't you? If you are interested in the reverb that he used the PCM 70 series from Lexicon, right? Yep. And they're actually really beautiful. Now, I don't have $400 to go and buy the algorithm from Lexicon, but I do have the MPX series from Lexicon, and it's pretty similar. So I'm actually running the reverb through the Lexicon plugin on Ableton here, cool. Which is really, really nice. And you can get the MPXI. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just run those. What can I run that sort of chord sound through again for you guys? And I'll just make that louder too. Come on, XV80. Where's my master volume on this? Yeah, let's get that louder. Here we go. So we'll do a C and an A. I'll just keep that playing, and then I'll just show you guys what the MPX looks like. You get the little rainbow thing.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, okay. Cool. So is that an emulation of the actual screen of the original?
Of the original MPX.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. That reverb is woke.
It's rally certified. Yeah. So anyway, playing around with Enigma influenced sounds, and I mean, you can't do the monks and things like that unless you got the samples right.
No Gregorian chants in your back pocket.
You could fake it a little bit. Yeah.
You could fake it. Yeah. The other one was the guitar sound, right? That it was so cheesy that it was you could tell it was a GM guitar. It was very cheesy. So I just thought it was a typical synthy sort of sound, so it would probably be a lot octave down, like.
Is that the JV guitar? It sounds like the JV
That's
guitar.
the Roland sound canvas distortion.
Yeah, exactly. JV.
Yeah. So that's all it probably was. It might have been, I don't know, an EMU emulator guitar sound, or it might have been something like that. But I mean, that really does get away with it, honestly, in the mix. You could probably use any of them. It wasn't a real guitar. I can give you the tip. It was definitely a MIDI-driven thing.
Yes.
I don't know. It had a real Roland sort of feel to it to me. Anyway, I could be wrong, but in that, when you listen to that song back now, if you guys go and listen to it again, I know we've all heard it a million times, right? We probably listened to it to death in the 90s when it came out. But now you've got your synth knowledge over the years. You probably, if you listen to it again recently, you'll probably think to yourself, I know, and you're hearing all the instruments. I know what he's done there. I know, definitely, yep. Oh, that's definitely a Roland sound. Oh, that's definitely a Yamaha sound. And you're kind of doing that. And it was interesting because, I mean, I was still enjoying it. But the thing that really I enjoyed the most about it was after you sort of, stop nerding out on all the sounds, you think, far out, that was a good mix. Geez, they mixed that well, and the
Yeah, it was crisp, wasn't it? It was a really crisp mix. I remember at the time. I mean, I've only got the greatest hits, the Love, Sensuality, and Devotion album, but it's mixed really, really well.
Yeah, I'd have to say it's probably a later influence in my music, the Enigma. There's a couple of the Enigma soundtracks that I liked. I mean, it really kind of gave me that real 90s sort of... Because in the time, when I was listening to music in the 90s, a lot of the music I listened to was probably more techno and dance, and because that was kind of big. And then you had the Nirvana and that sort of alternative stuff at the time. But for me, a lot of the electronic music was probably techno or dance or house, that sort of stuff. But then that was was it Chris? Yeah. But then
connection.
I kind of felt like Enigma sort of took me a little bit aside. Does that make sense? Because you
also had Deep Forest around that time too. There's some similar stuff.
Yeah, Deep Forest. Yeah, they were good.
Folks' voices and things like that.
I've got the Deep Forest.
Oh yes.
Some. I mean, Future Sound of London.
Yeah.
Was that slightly before that, or about the same sort of time? I mean, I bought those albums. I've still got them, and that's where I think that's where I started to get into the ambient thing, really.
Yeah. Oh man, what techno didn't I listen to would probably be a smaller list. Seriously, I gave it all a go. I loved it. I mean, you
except
probably
for
know
Happy Hardcore or something like that.
I even like some of the Happy Hardcore was actually pretty good, but most of it wasn't. You're probably right.
No.
But I mean, you guys know that I love the old gating techno. I love that sort of stuff. I'm still influenced by it today. So yeah.
Well, Innovation made a whole synth based on it. The Zeo synth with the Transgate. Thing on it. Yeah.
Well, one of the most common things they used to do in the early 2000s was people used to buy the Electribe, and it became the poor man's gator. So because you could put audio through the Electribe, and use the two little audio input channels and have those triggered by the VCA gate on the steps.
Especially on the EMX, because you had the little slider and the ribbon.
Yeah,
to really dynamically tweak how it gated and stuff.
Yeah, and you had the ability for the VCA to slope the sound off, so it wasn't just on off like linear, like a square wave types on off. You could actually shape it a bit, so it kind of, and then add effects to it as well on top of that. Anyway, we're digressing, but that's sort of something that I was doing during the week. Yeah, it's a very, very well-known synth track, but it's good fun to do that. Go back to a really well-known synth track and just go, okay, what did they do? What did they use?
Yeah.
And I bet you probably go in there feeling like really like, I've got this, I'm going to pick it all, and then all of a sudden it just falls apart.
You get humbled real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that with my JDXI challenged videos where I was trying to do how much can I get out of a JDXI and make tracks. And on some things I actually ran out of parts and I had to use like an MC 101 with it or something like that.
Yeah. Or resample it. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those things. And basically, do something to combine because it just wasn't enough. But the Supernatural sound library and the analog oscillator actually gave a lot of breadth. You could actually do a lot of different things with it. So it's quite capable.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Well, anyway, that was my idea. So did anyone come up with something else? I mean, I've probably just taken everyone down on a Enigma journey, and they're all thinking about Enigma now.
Nostalgia, right?
I'm going to go and listen to it later.
That's good.
Yeah, 3 of them, I think.
Because I've not listened to it for years.
Well, okay, so there's a funny thing in there. I'm surprised no one's brought this up. There's a weird sound in the Sadness tracks, right? And everyone will be listening to it going, what is that kind of screechy sound that he uses in it? It's literally a Formula One Formula One car sample that he's manipulated. And you can actually, if you Google it, you can find the sample somewhere, download it from one of the forums. It's actually on there. And I've got it somewhere on my hard drive here. Downloaded it years ago. But it's actually a Formula One car, either the tyres squealing or the engine squealing. I can't remember what it is now. Or it might be there might be 2 samples from the same thing that he's picked out.
Yeah.
And he's manipulated that into these interesting sort of sound effects. And you think to yourself, what synth did he use for that? Well, he didn't. He used a sampler, and it's a Formula One car. Yeah.
It's like
there's some Formula One type car sounds in the Sound Canvas library, the Roland stuff. There's the zoom.
It's not that. It's more like a screeching
tire
sort of
screeches and stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, I bought a vinyl album yesterday, and there's a great book and record shop, a charity shop in Bath, and they had the BBC Sound Effects vinyl album, Volume 2.
I have a bunch of those. Those are great.
Yeah, which was £2.50, in really, really good condition, and it has some fantastic samples on there. And
I think the yellow one. The other one's yellow. There's yellow, green, red. There's a couple different colors.
Shall I go get it? I can't remember what it looks like. Let me go grab it. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, sorry to make you do that. But I have a bunch of those. Those are great. In fact, when you listen to those, they really were used everywhere. They're just canned sound effects. Like the laughs, some of the animal sounds. It's funny how so many places just use the
don't
same
forget
sound effects libraries.
Don't forget, see, in the 90s we didn't really have the internet with downloads and MP3s. Sort of was more late 90s. The early 90s was more the CD revolution, right? So you'd go go down to the newsagent and you would buy yourself the latest computer magazine. It had a CD on the cover. You'd pop the CD out, you'd chuck it in your PC, and away you go. But the same thing for us musicians. We used to go and buy sample magazines, right? Yeah, look at what Ian's got. Sound effects.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sound ideas.
Yeah.
So we've got crashes. We've got an aircraft crash, car crash, glass and metal, ambulance and taxis, gunfire, summer background, horse and pony, the hunt, crowds.
Does that one have all the military stuff like howitzers and all the cool military firing?
The gunfire stuff? The gunfire. We've got revolver, machine gun, rifle, automatic rifle, then rifles with ricochet, and firing party. World War One. That's interesting.
Oh wow!
Boats, sports cars. I
think I'll fire.
I've got another one. Yeah, I mean, I have got another one as well, which is the sci-fi effects from like Doctor Who and all those early TV shows. So whenever I come across them, it's just like, great,
About 20 years ago, maybe more, somebody came out with a CD of all the Warner Brother cartoon sounds, and that was awesome. A lot of great sounds in there.
I bought an album of military music played on a steam organ, and I only bought it to sample it. You know, again, you know, you pay a few quid for these things. And...
Yeah, sure.
I have a CDs full of Bulgarian choirs that I still have.
Oh, those are great. The female choirs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you go into the internet, you can find all the Fairlight samples on the original.
Yeah.
And there's so many, people laughing and friggin' arrows like. They're all the Fairlight samples.
Yeah, when UCD shops were all the rage, I used to go scavenge them for not just music, but also sound effects libraries and all kinds of stuff. I got all kinds of crazy stuff.
Can I just answer Peter Tatchell's relevant coffee table question? It says, does anyone know what Korg weighted keys feel like? I'm considering a Kronos 73.
They're different.
There's
different
Kronos.
ones.
Yeah, this is a Kronos 73, Mark II. I feel the keyboard is horrible. You really need to play it. I absolutely hate the keyboard. I get used to it the more I play it, but it just feels when I haven't played it for a while and I play it, it feels really quite heavy.
Yeah.
And then I sort of get used to it, and I for years played a Yamaha weighted keyboard.
Yeah.
So I had a P80s and things like that, and I thought they were brilliant. That's nowhere near as good.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, Ian. I mean, the Yamahas aren't brilliant either, but compared to the Korgs, the Yamahas are amazing. So if you go to a shop, if you go to a music store and they've got the Roland, they've got the Korg, the Yamaha, and they might have probably Casio as well. They're pretty big in this area. Go and try all the different weighted keys out between the brands. I think you'll probably find the Yamaha will win in most cases.
And actually, the weighted piano, just the piano, which has only got about 8 sounds in it, is actually far, far superior to that.
Well, it's a different mechanism.
We used to have that I used to use that for lessons.
It's got MIDI on it, hasn't it? The weighted piano? It's got MIDI on it.
Well, the one that we had didn't have.
Okay.
But the newer ones probably...
The newer one probably has USB or something.
Probably has, yeah.
I mean, I'm still in the market to get Noah, my youngest, a weighted key because he's still he's doing his grade 3 exams at the moment, grade 3 exams,
right,
for piano. God, I mean, the music that they learn in grade 3 is actually quite complex.
It's hard.
Yeah. There's some of the well-known songs like Fur Release, right, for example.
Yeah.
There's about 4 different versions of Fur Release, and they get more complex as you learn them. So grade 3, I actually was really surprised that there's a Fur Release in there, and it's actually pretty. It's played as it is at grade 3 level. It's actually quite complex. It's quite good.
I can't remember it, but yeah.
He's
time since I've looked at those.
He's decided not to do that one though. He's doing something else. He's doing Twilight or something. It's a beautiful piece. I forget who it's by. It's really, really good. It's quite long too, and so
you also find that
it's got different speeds and stuff in it.
There's 2 different boards here in the UK. I don't know if it's the same in Australia, and one of them is really, really much harder than the other.
Well, there's 2. Yeah, there's 2. You've got the
ASM,
studying for leisure, and studying for what's the other one called? Actually, I might be able to tell you. I'm pretty sure I've got the email here. Yeah, ASM is what it's called. Yeah.
ASM.
So wait till kids starts playing Chopin and Rachmaninoff. Then you'll go, what the hell?
So let me look. Piano grades.
Oh, okay. So you can do piano for leisure, or you can just do
ABRSM is what I'm thinking. And Trinity's the other one. I think Trinity, if I remember rightly, is easier than the ABRSM.
Well, for the way it was explained to me, it's 2 here as well, but it's just called different things.
Yeah.
But it's 2.
Yeah.
One is called piano for leisure, and the other one is between the 2. was explained to me that one is more about the music and the other one is more about the technique. But that's actually not really true because they're both going to be assessed on both anyway. But if you were to sort of weigh it one way or the other, one is more about the music. In generally speaking, you still got technique in that, and the other one's more about technique and less about the music itself. So if he wanted to do the piano one instead of piano for leisure, he might get some questions about theory in there. And if he wanted to do the piano for leisure one, he'll get questions about technique. It's kind of, and I don't know why the word leisure's in there. It makes absolutely no sense at all. So, we're going to get out our banana lounge and play the piano.
Just casual, yeah.
It's kind of strange. I don't remember. Like, I did exams when I was younger. I don't remember all this bullshit. Maybe I just was oblivious to it. I'm not sure. Probably was.
I didn't do the exams.
Mum probably just dragged me down there. I did exams.
I just did the,
Yeah, I got up to grade 4 when I was a kid. That was as far as I went. And then I got bored with it. That was this theory crap.
Yeah,
I want to learn this crap.
I didn't mind that.
Damn theory. Yeah.
I was doing it in high school, right? And I remember sitting, because I'd already done it in primary school as a kid, doing grade 4 exams. So then I got to high school, and I'm sitting in front of this stupid idiot teacher in high school. He's teaching us all about theory in the class, and I'm like yawning my head off. I'm like, tell me something I don't already freaking know. What are you talking about, you stupid idiot? And then, like, what happens to us when we know stuff, right, is then you start going, hang on a minute, you're not teaching this correctly. Then I started to become this friggin' teenager pain in the ass student.
Oh, yeah.
You're the actually guy. Actually,
I had these conversations with this teacher afterwards, and I'm like, did you mean to say that about the rests? Do they? Yeah, he didn't like.
Would you guys call them rests and not quavers?
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
he called them rests.
It's rest.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was funny. But yeah. Noah's different. He's like,
because you do, because in America, is it the same in Australia? Because you do the half note, quarter note, whole note thing, don't you? Not the minims, crotchets, quavers.
No, they do that
sort of stuff.
They do that later, but they definitely do the smaller note,
the whole
variations.
Note
yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah. Hemi, demi, semi, quavers.
Hell yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And in fact,
really,
yeah.
He's got them in his current piece that he's learning. Yeah. Magoo said, "Kids in the class like that are my spirit animals."
That's true.
I mean, it's a good way to get beaten up by the other students, I guess. But
no, the other students
stuck in a locker, shove you in a locker.
I mean, when I went to school, it was kind of like the dawn of multiculturalism in Australia, and Australia was predominantly before it was predominantly white, and obviously the indigenous people, and then you started to see the new more immigration stuff coming in, and so in my school, because I went to what they call a private school here in Australia, we had international students because they weren't entitled to go to the public schools. You're not entitled to educate. Well, there's international schools, but they usually fill up really, really quickly, and they can't get in them because they're full. So they have to go to the private schools, and the private schools cost a lot of money for international students because they don't get subsidised by the Australian government, and so they pay a different fee. Anyway, so in my music class, it was full of Chinese kids, full of them. There was heaps of Chinese, not Chinese from China, but usually actually mostly from Hong Kong and Singapore is where they come from, but they're Chinese.
Singers.
Chinese. And so, I'm being an idiot in my music class, picking on the teacher, and these kids are looking at me, and they're looking at me and agreeing with me, because usually most Chinese kids have learnt friggin' grade 8 level piano by the time they're about 10 years old.
Yeah,
absolutely. They're insanely big on making sure their kids accelerate through the music grades, and because they want, one of the things is they've learnt is it's to do with mainly to do with education, but also a little bit to do with money, right? It has to be, of course it does, because if they can get a scholarship, right, through music, that's 50% of their fees paid. Then they don't have to pay half the fee, and they're like, cool, my kid's brilliant piano or brilliant violin player, 50% of the fees off, and all I have to do is just punish that kid for the first 10 years of their life in front of a violin.
And their high schools are very serious. Here, like
become
typical high school is just bullshit. Most people just goof off, right, and get serious in college.
Yeah,
but not in China. There's hardcore in high school.
Oh, it's hardcore, absolutely. Yeah.
I learned violin first, and I absolutely hated it. I hated violin, and the teacher was just an ass.
Yeah, a teacher can ruin your experience with
He
music.
did. I mean, he certainly did.
Yeah.
He shouted and all that sort of stuff that teachers should never do. You know.
But it's not like Whiplash where he's like throwing stuff at you.
No, it wasn't. He wasn't throwing stuff, but it was a horrible experience.
My son did this violin. What do you call it? Solo play thing, right, in front of everyone, and he had a judge mark him, grade him on it, and it's not part of his school mark that he does. He does violin lessons at school. It's not part of this. This was part of like a festival, a music festival that he was doing, and he played this piece technically perfect, absolutely, like there was no mistakes. His positioning of the violin was perfect. He didn't like lean down. There's a thing that they get you to do when you're a beginner of the violin where you put a marble on the string.
Yeah.
And they teach you to balance your violin so that the marble doesn't roll and things like that. So he's already got that. His bow is in the right spot. It's not tilted. It's not bent that way. It's coming across the bridge properly. They look at where it goes across the actual bridge itself, like you'll see on a violin, it's got the bridge where the strings go across, and there's that thing that holds the strings up, right? And there's that gap then before the fretboard, right? There's it's the bridge, right? So where the bow goes across that, if it's too far to the thing that holds the strings up, or if it's too far to the fretboard, sorry, I can't remember the technical terms for this stuff, but that's what he was doing, right? And so I got all that perfect. He's, the piece he played, not one note out, and also when you say one note out, it's not like a piano where you hit the key and it plays that note. On a violin, you've got to put your finger in the right spot to generate the tone.
It's bonkers.
Yeah. So he did that, right? And I'm like, okay, well, what more do you friggin' want? So he got his report back, and she said it was outstanding. It was like really high, all that sort of stuff, really good comments and everything. And I'm like, okay, cool. And there's other kids were playing the same piece as him, and they were making mistakes, and their violins were saggy, they were like holding them down so they could see their music and playing it like this, and they got the same freaking report as my son. I'm like, this is I'm gonna
paste.
Go in there and paste. Get off my lawn. I'm gonna go in there and complain.
Underpaid, overworked.
Yeah.
Although
exactly.
you could argue there's technical quality and there's like feeling and emotional quality of the performance, and that makes a huge difference.
No, it was all of that was. Let's say, Andy. Let's say all of that was ticking the box. Okay. Because me being a musician, I understand that stuff, right? So.
Yeah.
And it's actually frustrating for me being a musician going in and watching children play, because one of the first things that you guys will be the same. If you go and watch children play, the first thing is, especially if it's an orchestra, all the friggin' instruments that are out of tune. You're like, could you not just tune it before you turned up, you little shit?
Yeah.
It's I've got a family, well, half a family. My mum and I are both musos, so whenever there's something on television and it's like a Formula One national anthem by a lesser known country, shall we say, and it's slightly out of tune, and we're just there going, our faces are squinted up at every single note. It's like, we just look at each other knowingly.
Yeah.
When they sing it wrong. Yeah.
Well, no, it's sometimes they have those kind of like not exactly mariachi band, but a very small orchestra on the
I know what you mean.
Formula One race. Yeah, and it's kind of like it's going, really? You got a whole Formula One race here, and you brought those guys out?
It just played the CD.
It's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, just pantomime along with the CD. Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I used to be in the military, and they have bands, right? In the military, you actually wear uniform, and you are technically a soldier in the military, but your job is to play in a band. And they are, they go through that sort of strict stuff, really strict.
They're very good, yeah.
The whole military training, but in music, it's kind of weird because, music is an art. But I don't know how they manage to do it, but they actually get these people to sing amazing. They get them to play like technically brilliant. Like they get some really good results out of military. And if you ever go and see a military band play, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It's actually amazing to watch. There was
a military band booth at NAMM a couple years ago, and they were all really good.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. Like if you ever want a good band, get a military band because they usually get it right.
Yeah.
So what they do is during like football games and things like that here in Australia, especially if we've got like we have this thing called Anzac Day, which is it's related to people who have served in the wars in Australia.
Yeah.
And so they'll have like a special game, which is an Anzac game, but they'll do this trumpet thing where it's one trumpet player, and he has to play this little trumpet melody, right? And it can be easily fucked up. Really easily can you fuck it up. Like, seriously. But every single time I hear the military guys do it, it is to perfection.
Yeah,
It's so good. It is so good.
The military guys have extra pressure.
They got
KP duty waiting for them if they screw up. So they
gets you in the heart.
Oh, yeah, they get in trouble. Yeah. But it sends chills, man. It's seriously, it's like this.
I totally agree.
Wow,
Yeah.
And then you get some idiot singing it, and they just ruin everything.
Yes, it's usually like it's when you get the Australian national anthem and it's sung by such and such and such and such, and you get them and go, oh god, this is gonna be
don't
awful.
sing that. Don't.
It's like they're gonna sing anything but the actual note that's written in the actual tune.
Although I'd rather hear some of those imperfections than the obvious auto-tune everyone does. Auto-tune has just ruined everything. So
I can't stand auto-tune. I really can't.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone do an anthem with auto-tune. That would be kind of funny. That would be actually...
okay, let's do that. Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's the subtle auto-tune where you don't really hear it.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, you don't really hear it. You hear it a little bit. And then there's the obvious one that's an effect for like
that's the steppy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, where they crank it, like Cher, that song, Do You Believe in Life After Love song. Yeah. That was the first official over cranking the auto-tune, hard tuning thing. But you can hear it subtly in certain songs and stuff. Some people use it on a lower level.
I thought the Blue Dubba Dee, that was the one that definitely had auto-tune in it.
Was auto-tune even around back then?
And a vocoder. It was a vocoder and an auto-tune. I don't know.
Probably a vocoder of some kind, yeah. Because I don't think auto-tune was quite out yet. It was almost out.
Yeah. I mean, I actually liked it.
But Antares was the first one to have it. Antares was the first auto-tune thingy.
Oh. I mean, yeah, for me, anything vocoder, Kraftwerk. Anything vocoder. Those guys knew they had. They probably had every single vocoder. They were probably the vocoder collectors of the world.
Yeah, you mean they
had them built for
like you, but
because Kent
with phases, but
because Kent had the Kraftwerk vocoder for a while, didn't he? Trying to fix it up.
Yeah. It's smoke's poured out of it.
That's that special one. But they also They had heaps of different vocoders. They had the Moog one. They had the Sennheiser one. The
Moog is basically a Boda design.
Roland one. Mm.
A fun thing about autotune as well, I read this a while back. The technology came from a totally different field. It was used in geology. They were doing like sonar geology, sending pulses through the earth and analyzing signals. And they turned that somehow into autotune. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite an interesting story, that one.
Yeah. Of course, vocoder came from failed telecom experiments for transatlantic
Yeah, they're trying to compress.
stuff.
They're trying to compress voice over long distance.
Yeah,
low quality.
I think Bell Labs came up
telephone
with it
lines.
first. I think it was Bell. It was a Bell Labs thing. But
Oh, Isotope is teasing something new. I wonder if it's Isotope or wonder if it's Native Instruments.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Oh, man. I wish there was more documentaries on, on the 70s of Kraftwerk, that particular area, but they just didn't. There's a few, but there's not enough. I just would have loved to have seen more cameras around them during the 70s.
that Krautrock doc has some decent footage in it.
The Carl Bartok book's really good. I've read that.
Yeah, I read the book too. Yeah. I love that book.
Yeah,
it's a good book.
I have that book from the 90s with the guys on the cover. That was a decent little book about Kraftwerk.
Yeah, that was that. They had that kind of digital sort of age, didn't they? Where, because they obviously wanted to tour and play and everything, and they were popular, but they wanted to simplify their rig, and they didn't want to have to obviously lug all the, the old gear eventually. So they had samples.
Well, the opening of that Kraftwerk book, they actually have the author talking to the guys on a bike tour through the Alps, the Swiss Alps or something like that.
Yeah,
and because they love biking, it wasn't just Tour de France. They actually loved to go out.
Oh, they absolutely.
But it's funny because but he said they actually fired off one of their shows with the doppelgangers from their tour. They actually stopped their bikes and they said, "Okay, start the show now." And then the doppelgangers were playing on stage somewhere. So that's kind of funny.
They like to wear the spandex.
Yeah, we like to wear the spandex.
I have a bit
it's
of
like
chasing.
The Sprocket thing on.
Yes.
You ever see the Saturday Night Live sketch called Sprockets? And they're wearing the tight spandex outfits and doing the little dance and stuff. It's pretty funny.
I don't know if I do.
Yes, welcome to Sprockets. I'm Dieter, and it's like, would you like to touch my monkey? And then it's a really weird. You have to see it. It's very funny. It's just it's old. Even Rob Lowe came on for a guest appearance on that one.
Oh, it's probably a new Ozone version, I'd say, Woogu, because they have to bring out a new Ozone version, don't they? So they
do.
I'm going to upgrade.
I didn't buy the last version, so I'm on version 9.
Yeah, I'm still on 9.
Is it 9 or is it? Because we're on 11. Are they on 11 now?
Oh, I'll tell you what I'm on. Actually, I am on.
I haven't bought any of the new stuff since they got acquired.
I'm on 9. Yeah, I'm still on 9. I was quite happy with 9. I don't use it as much as I used to. There used to be this period where I would run things through it and just trust it to.
Yeah, I'm on 9.
And then I'm like,
yeah,
I've kind of gone back to I've gone back to the more dynamic stuff, and I'm kind of liking that. Because you guys are probably the same, but if you look at old 70s recordings, right, and you look at the actual sausage of the recording, it's not a sausage at all. It's very dynamic.
Single chain,
yeah, absolutely. I much prefer dynamic stuff. I mean, I use it. I master with it all the time, but and I'm sure the mastering assistants got better, but I mean, I usually start with that, but it never ends up with that. Usually it doesn't even get close. I reckon
the new version has to have something AI. It has to have something AI.
It already had something. The last version.
It'll be like, subscribe to this AI engine. You get the standard version, and there's the AI version. I'm so sick of that bullshit right now.
He's going to sit there and say, you know what your instrumental needs. Hi, I'm your AI assistant. You know what your instrumental needs? It needs vocals. Here you go. I'll make some for you.
Oh no! It'll sound like the intro to my show.
Yeah.
Hey, Ranzee, put the Sprockets thing from SNL in the
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
You gotta check it out. It's very funny. Totally makes fun of Kraftwerk. It's very good.
All right, guys, we're going to end the stream because I've got to go to bed and get some sleep. We got soccer in the morning still. I've still got 2 more games to go, and then I'm free.
Oh, then you're free.
Yeah, I'm free.
Hey, celebrate.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for everyone. It's nice to be back.
No, thanks. Good to be back.
Yeah,
definitely.
good stuff.
And we'll see you next week, episode 311.
Yay!
If I survive.
If we all survive.
Bye all. Take care. Enjoy
Bye.
the rest of your week.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.